Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the stream. How is everybody doing, guys? Let me know, as always. Can you hear me all good in the chat? Is the stream coming through all good? Is the audio coming through okay? Very much appreciated. Be sure to let me know in the chat, guys. Welcome to the stream. Hopefully, you've all had an amazing weekend as well. And, the tendies have been with you also. Jamie, Rosie, thank you for the love over on Twitter. Yo, turned out, what's going on? Jamie, hello, guys. Welcome to the stream. How are you, laddies? How are you? Give me a second here. Let me just get some of these tabs closed that I've got here, because I've got a bunch of tabs open that I don't need open. Thank you for the love over on Twitter. I appreciate it. Let me just move that up over there. And then let's get this thing started, shall we? Hello there, guys. How you doing? I need a fucking shave, boys. I need a shave. Can you hear me all good? Audio's fine? Sweet. Rosie, welcome to the stream. How's it going? I know why I'm saying that, because I just spoke to you, but, still, how's it going? Got to be polite, How's everybody doing today, guys? You had a good weekend, have you? So, lots to talk about, actually, today, because, we've seen some corrections, which I was talking about last week, if you remember, guys. So we've seen a little bit of that going on. We've seen Bitcoin try to break 50k. Bitcoin Cash was on a tear, went up to like $720+. So had a little bit of a correction now, just short of $700. So it's been a busy weekend. Weekends are typically quiet. So really, probably a good time for us to have a nice correction. And hopefully Monday isn't Bloody Monday and we don't see the dumps coming in. Because Mondays can be quite rough sometimes. But we are in the middle of a bull market and alt season has well and truly started, so maybe we'll see some nice pumpamentals going on Monday, guys. That's the hope anyway. But yeah, man, hopefully you're all good, guys. Welcome to the stream. It is good to see ya. So yeah, we're going to have a look through a couple of coins tonight. We won't be on for a long stream because I am still tired. I did sleep most of the day away yesterday because it's just catching up with me now. I've been doing too many days without getting much sleep at all. And it's just finally catching up with me, really. But, no major. We got to, no rest for the wicked. That's the saying, innit? Plus, we're in a bull market, man. The 2 days that I've decided to, take a little bit of time, go to bed, I've woke up and it's like, dude, man, shit's down 10%, get out of here. But, like I say, was expected, but at the same time, you can't help, even when you're expecting a correction, like I've been expecting a correction, when it starts to happen, you're actually like, yo, is this a correction or is this a fucking dump? But I'm still confident we're going to see massive upside on multiple altcoins in the coming weeks and possible months as well, guys. Bitcoin, like I said, went on a little bit of a tear as well today and overnight. Tried to go for that 50k mark. Was just short of it. Might have actually hit 50k on some exchanges, actually. I think it was 49.7 or something on Binance. Let's have a little look, actually, because I haven't really done much looking at Bitcoin today, actually. Just short of 49k now, guys. We're on 48 and a half. Let's pull this out. Now we're nearly at 49, actually. 48,850 at the moment, guys. So looking good. How you guys all been doing, man? Let me know in the chat, guys. You had a good weekend, have you? All right, let's have a look what we actually topped out there. So we topped out on Binance at 49,711, give or take a few cents. So just short of 50k, guys. So that's our new high now. It does look like on the hourly, Bitcoin's building up a little bit of a bullish movement there. Let's have a little look. We've bounced off the EMA, which doesn't surprise me. You know what? Let's we could go in with a little bit of maybe a pen in here, maybe. Or let's. I do love me sending triangles. I'll try and look for them even if they're not there, which is never a good thing to do. We've got some impending price action happening very soon, guys, probably within the next hour or two. Personally, I'd say we're going to have a move to the upside, but it could go either way here. If we do have a move to the downside, it's probably going to come back down and test 48,130, give or take, around about there. So this is probably our well, not correction, but this is probably our point of a downtrend if it happens. Let's have a look at our indicators as well. See what we got on the old RSI, shall we? Not exactly bullish. We'll have to give this one, wait and see what happens. It could go either way, really, at the minute. But I think either way it goes, it's probably going to be a smallish movement, if I'm honest. I think if we do go to the upside, we're probably going to get rejected, pull back down, and then maybe go for it tomorrow, possibly. We could break it today, but I'm more thinking maybe that's going to be a thing that happens tomorrow. Maybe a little pullback, trundle along, and then try and go for the breakout tomorrow, possibly. Looking at things. Volume's a little bit lower today. It makes sense. It's the weekend. Typically, volume is a little bit lower on the weekend, and I believe is it President's Day tomorrow in the US as well, which is probably gonna make it so maybe less people trading. But we'll see. So, Bitcoin looking nice, tried for 50k, just fell short, but I believe it's going to have another little stab at it. Let's have a look at ADA, guys, because this has been the main one that I've been following just lately. We have had a correction, which I said was going to happen. I thought we might come back a little bit further than this, actually, and we still might, looking at things. We did create this descending wedge here, which is typically a bullish pattern, actually. It wasn't the best descending wedge. We had this little small ascending wedge within the descending wedge as well. I know my charts look an absolute mess, guys, but I see. Well, I'll do some clear charts as well for you guys so you can actually see what the frick's going on. But yeah, we hit our high, got rejected, and we kind of started coming into this little downtrend within, like I say, this descending wedge. We had this little tiny ascending wedge here, which we then broke down out of, which typically happens. Ascending wedges are usually bearish. Descending wedges are typically bullish. But we broke down out of the ascending wedge and we came back down, tested our support here on the descending wedge, and we had a little bit of a breakout, but it looks like it was a little bit of fake out, actually, because it's then gone on to rally, and did rally in this tiny little ascending triangle here, which it's now broke out of, which is typical in a bull market, really. You can expect that. And we're now sitting at this line of support has now become a little bit of a line of resistance. So if we can break through this 86, 87 cent mark, we should see a continuation to the upside. And then, we'll be back really within this. We're kind of in there now. We're within this descending wedge, but we're also kind of, if you want to look at the chart in a double way, we're kind of in a descending triangle at the same time. I know it looks very messy, but, it works for me. But yeah, at the moment, we've managed to pull back up into that descending wedge, guys. So yeah, at the moment, things are looking quite good. As long as we can break through this little bit of resistance here, I think we'll see some continuation to the upside. But I wouldn't be surprised if we maybe see a little bit more downside, or we just do a little bit of sideways trading, a little bit of consolidation. It makes sense. I've been banging on about this now for the last few days, saying that we're more than likely we are going to get a correction on ADA. Not that just that it happens in alt season, but also the fact that we were so overstretched and overbought on the RSI, and we were stretched so far away from all of the EMA bands there. Really, a pullback was really imminent, in my opinion. He could have ignored it and continued on, but this looks a little bit more healthy now. But like I say, it wouldn't even be that terrible if we see a continuation to the downside, if we trend within this descending wedge and then break out. Maybe give everything a little bit of a chance just to settle and get ready to go for the next run. And it'd be nice if we could continue on so we can get our RSI back into not being overbought, and that'll give us a stronger position. If we can come down to around about the 81 cents, 80 cents, we can get the RSI back in check, trending a little bit closer to the EMA bands. I think that will put us in a nice position to continue a nice bullish momentum. But yeah, it's easy, guys. Even when I woke up myself this morning, I was half asleep, so I was like, Rosie, check ADA's price for me, will ya? And then she was like, oh, it's 85. I was like, ooh, okay. It's pulled back overnight a little bit more than I was expecting. But looking at things now, I'm not too worried at all. I do think we are going to see a continuation to the upside, and I am at the moment. I'm probably just going to end up buying some more ADA, if I'm honest, because like I say, whatever happens this bull run, I'm super bullish on ADA in the long run, and I do believe it's a coin to stack. Personally, this is what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be stacking as much as I can over the next 3 years, because I do believe that next bull run, ADA's going to do some pretty insane things along with DOT. And it's one to watch out, in my opinion, to be like the next Ethereum, in terms of not even just competing with Ethereum. I don't think it's going to be an Ethereum killer. I think that people like to talk in crypto. This is going to kill that, and this is going to. And sometimes, we can have them work together. They can work together and can both, prosper at the same time. But yeah, I do think ADA and DOT are going to be like Ethereum in terms of price discovery and just projects being built on them. I think with Polkadot, you can have a maximum of 100 apps on the parachains, so they're limited in number, but that doesn't mean that it's not going to give massive value to Polkadot, which it's already gaining that anyway. So yeah, like I say, I do expect massive things in the next bull run for ADA, but I'm still hoping for awesome things this bull run. I'm still hoping we're going to see another 150 to 200% increases on ADA, and that's still going back to these previous charts, guys, of the Cardano versus ADA. Like I was talking to you before, this is the one to really watch, in my opinion, because it's really what's going to dictate what ADA does, if I'm honest. And if we look into the previous run, we did kind of have a similar sort of movement here, didn't we? Round about the same sort of area, and then we had a continuation to the upside. Now, does that mean we'll do exactly the same thing? Maybe not. Does it mean we'll do exactly the same thing? We'll pull back up and then we'll fail on breaking through? Totally possible. But you've got to take into account here, guys, one thing that's different between these previous highs here and our high here is that these were not in bull runs. The only one that was this one. And the last time it was in a bull run, it smashed through that barrier piece. And you got to take into account as well, then he didn't really get his chance to have a proper run. He didn't really get to enjoy the entirety of the bull run. Plus, at the same time, ADA was lacking like all the things that it has now as well. So that's another thing to take into account. So still, this is the thing that I'm going to be looking at, guys, more than anything, more than the actual ADA to USDT price or ADA to USD price or whatever stablecoin. It's the ADA to Ethereum, still the main thing. And until we break this, that's going to be the deciding factor. Once we're through there, it's all up to ADA what it does then. But last time it did it, 150% gains, guys. Like I say, we're in a bull market again now. It's been able to take advantage of the entirety of the bull market, along with having a better system and fundamentals now, and we're in an even bigger bull run when you think about things, guys. Each bull run is just getting bigger and bigger and bigger in terms of Bitcoin's price, but in terms of the overall market cap and cash coming into all of the altcoins as well. So still super bullish on ADA. It's got lots of future potential in my eyes. Even if you miss this particular run, guys, I definitely think it is something to look out for in the future. And whatever happens this bull run, I'll be stacking my bags in the coming years with ADA anyway. ADA and DOT are like the main ones, along with Bitcoin and Ethereum, which I'm just going to be, as time goes by, I'm just filling my bags. And then the next run is where I'm really hoping that ADA's going to change some people's lives. I think it's going to change some people's lives this run, if I'm honest. Like I say, I still think we've got another 150 to 200% in it, as long as, like I say, once again, it breaks this critical margin on the ADA to Ethereum chart. So yeah, still bullish on ADA, even though we've had that correction. Like I was saying though, it was totally expected. And don't judge my charts, guys, okay? I like my charts messy, all right? It makes me believe I'm a genius, because like whenever you see movies, the genius is always in like messy rooms, right? Yeah, I can pretend. But yeah, Doge. Let's have a look at Doge. We got to have a look at it, didn't we? With everything that's going on, you got to look at it, man. So, like I said, Doge was continuing to find lower highs. We've now generated another large lower low, but at the same time, we are having a bit of a correction across everything, so this could be impacting Doge as well. It makes sense. It doesn't mean it's entirely over with Doge. We hit this major level of support that I'd marked out, and we bounced off it straight away, guys. I think I'd put this down, 2 or 3 days ago, and we've exactly pretty much to the dollar bounced off that, as the moon would say, exactly as predicted. But we did. We had this down a couple of days ago. We bounced straight off it, guys. And we're now attempting to rally back up. Finding a little bit of resistance here. We broke through, actually went right the way up to 66.3 cents. Actually, totally broke down. And attempting now to break out of that 61225 line of resistance. But at the moment, looks like it's struggling a little bit there. Dogecoin does as well. Like I say, the thing with Doge at the moment, it isn't getting the hype from all of the celebrities like it was before. So, you know, it really now, this is all on the Doge community and how like diamond are those diamond hands and how much they think it's actually going to do something. Because like I say, like I said before, maximum for me out of this entire run was maybe 15 cents. And that was around this sort of area. And that was if continued tweets and hype continued. But this would have took massive amounts of hype to get us to get there. Obviously, we didn't get that. We've continued to break down. I think Elon's kind of got bored tweeting about it now, which, you know, he's only going to tweet about it for so long, isn't he? So, yeah, I think we could still see some upside on Doge, if I'm honest. And over the years, as the inflationary value of Doge drops, because it will, I think it's sitting between 3 to 5%. It devalues the coin about 3 to 5% every year due to the amount of coins that are printed. But that will reduce. It'll never reduce to zero, but over the years it will begin to reduce more and more. So there is possibility for Doge to see higher prices in the coming years, but nothing that the prices that people are expecting, to be fair. But, you know, if you get in after it's dumped and you get at a low price, as always, like I keep saying, Doge has the potential to make you massive amounts of money, but it also has the potential to make you lose massive amounts of money as well, guys. You've got to play these sort of coins just right. Don't FOMO when in these sort of numbers. It's only going to get you wrecked. You know, buy low, sell high. It's basic as it gets. That I know that is the basic tenet of trading, but you know, when you're new, it's easier to get dragged into these sort of markets. You know, best time to ever buy in on a coin, guys, or an asset, in my opinion, when people have kind of forgot about it. It's at its low. It's not really going to go much lower. Most of the risk has been averted at that point. You know, the biggest risk that can potentially happen for you is it just doesn't go anywhere and just trade sideways for the foreseeable future, and you end up pulling your money out round about where you put it in. You know, at the end of the day, as if you're able to put freaking money into an asset and it stays at a set value for a bunch of years, and you're able to pull it out, then I suppose you've kind of hedged against inflation in a way. But you know, that's not really what we're here for. We're here to make money. So when it comes to these assets, guys, get in when everybody's kind of forgot about it. So my suggestion is, once this is all over, I'll be doing exactly the same. I'm not suggesting you do this. I'm suggesting this is what I'm doing, if that makes sense. Not financial advice. I'm a degenerate trader. But I'll be waiting for Doge, like I've said, to do its thing, and then I'll be hopping back into Doge, just waiting really for the next cycle, and then I'll be doing the exact same thing. I'll get out at the high, and I'll do exactly the same thing. I'll wait for the cycle to end, and I'll get back in on a low, and it's one of them, you just got to be patient with it, you know what I mean, because it will pump again. It will pump again. A lot of new people now are like, oh, you know, that's it now, I've lost all my money. And if you are in that situation where you bought on a high and you're down massively, but you can afford to live, I'd probably, you know, wait for the next cycle. That's what I'd do. If I'd put a few grand in at Doge at the height, which I wouldn't because, you know, FOMO. But if I did, I'd probably just be holding now in the sense of like, right, I'll wait for whenever the next cycle happens, whether it's mid-bear market or we get it in the next bull market. That's when I'd I'd try and get out and hopefully make some money or at least break even. But that's why, guys, you should never FOMO. It just gets you wrecked, man. It just gets you wrecked. It's literally the opposite of what you should be doing. I know it's a simple saying, buy low, sell high. It's easier than it sounds because obviously, you know, it takes a little bit of time to start to understand, and you can't always be 100 when you're at the bottom or the top, but that's the point. If you go in at the least amount of risk possible, that's all you can do in these sort of markets, guys, is avert as much risk as possible, and, you know, and hopefully the gains will be great. But yeah, man, just be careful, guys. Just be careful if you are doing this shit, man. Never chase these pumps and these tops. VeChain had a nice run, like everything else at the moment, pretty much kind of having a little bit of a pullback, a little bit of a consolidation here. Still looking really good, if you ask me. Kind of built this sort of descending triangle, descending wedge right here, guys. It looks bullish in my opinion. These sort of moves can move to the downside, but typically when you're in a bull run, guys, these sort of patterns will signify continuation of the price. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do see, once it breaks out, maybe a nice little attempt at going for this all-time high. Actually, is that even an all-time high for VeChain? I don't even know what the all-time high for VeChain is, but whatever. We're going to attempt to go for this local high anyway. And maybe see if we can build some sort of ascending triangle. That'd be lovely. Because like I say, you guys know me. I love ascending triangles. They're my favourite, especially in bull runs. You know what I mean? If we trundle along, if we break out here, find this as support, and then just continue on like this, that will be building a very, very nice pattern for us to break out and have a nice little jump from that high there, guys. So yeah, VeChain's still on an absolute tear. Disappointing me for a while, man. VeChain was kind of just coiling up, but you know, it's really coiled up quite nice there, hasn't it? And then exploded. So yeah, VeChain looking really nice as well. RSI's in a great place, really, to be fair. Have we just crossed over on the MACD? Yep, just crossed over on the MACD as well. So to me, that looks really bullish at the moment. Still got all this previous volume behind it as well, really, really building it up there to snap out, if I'm honest. I think VeChain's going to have some nice moves over the coming weeks, guys. It looks like it anyway. So yeah, out of curiosity, if there is anybody in chat who has decided to invest in crypto or assets or just investing in general, guys, what's your plays at the moment? What's your strategies? What are you dipping into, or what are you thinking about dipping into? Like what's your plan? Do you trade? Do you day trade? Do you swing trade? Or are you just spot buying and holding for more longer term gains? I'd be curious to know. And as well, guys, I am going to start to do more of this stuff on YouTube. I do want to get back to making the gaming content, like I says. But at the minute, we're going to be banging out more of these streams. And this week, I'm probably going to try and pump out quite a few hours of these streams. Just to, you know, because I actually quite enjoy doing this. I actually enjoy doing the streams and just hanging out with you guys as well. Because I'll be doing this all day anyway. So, you know what, may as well just bang on a stream and you guys can watch a degenerate lose money. Let's have a little look at Dot then, guys. It looks like Dot's trying to move back up again. Let's sort me charts out here, shall we? Let's have a little butchers. Pretty much like everything else, guys. Dot has had a little bit of a pullback. Like I say, it's not really much to worry about, though. The majority of the market is really doing it at the moment. It's probably more than likely because Bitcoin had a little rally and attempted to break through that 50k. Typically, when Bitcoin does those moves, altcoins do like to just sit back and be like, well, what's going on here? So they had a little, and to be fair, majority of them really did need a bit of a correction. Dot's pretty much been doing this the entire way up. It starts to pull away from the EMA bands, has its little correction, bounces along them for a little bit, builds a little bit of a consolidation, breaks out again, and does exactly pretty much the same thing. And we're kind of in that scenario once again here. We broke down below the EMA. It looks like we're at the moment we're pushing to break back through and maybe find a little bit of support there. But yeah, still looking at Dot as well. Still bullish on Dot. Let's have a look here. Let's have a look on the what's it actually? Let's have a look on the old Fiberowski, shall we? Where's our local move to the upside here? I'd say really this is where this local move started running. Let's just go off a local retracement, shall we? Yeah, man, we're kind of respecting the fib lines to a degree. Found a little bit of support there, broke down, came back up, finding support there on the wicks there as well. So yeah, man. You know, probably going to try and push back up here. Going to find a little bit of resistance around the $28.2 mark. But yeah, man, like I say, the moves are in at the minute. There's no reason to suspect that we're going to see any downside, in my opinion. I'm still adamant we're going to see a $100 Dot. If I'm honest, I really do think we are. So, yeah, Dot, in my opinion, still looking rather bullish, just having a bit of a correction. We're now back in developing some higher lows. We just really need to break this. But if you look at this, really, like I say, I love my triangles. We are making ourselves a sharp little ascending triangle there. More than likely, in my opinion, we're going to break through there. If we can try and find some support here and then break through this descending line and find this as support, that would be a really strong move there if we can do a little bit of this, and then I think we'll see some continuations of the upside. Then we've just got to break our previous highs here. So for me, this is a telling move now over the coming hours. This is something that we'll see tomorrow more than likely. I can't see us having an explosive move out. What we need to do, come back up and find a little bit of support here. Back test this as support. This will give us a nice real area around this sort of area, then a local area of quite strong support area. And then, like I say, if we can break back up over this trend line and use this as support, and then, you know, we're off to the races, baby. We're off to the races. Deposited 3 figures to learn how to use a platform 2 days ago. I was looking to add more as and when bi-weekly, probably. It's the best thing to do, man, when it comes to things, in my opinion. It's how big hedge funds like Grayscale do it as well. You dollar cost average instead of just buying everything in one go, because you're exposing yourself to the most risk then. It's best to just, you know, bang a little bit here, right? You know what? Let's buy another 100 at the end of the month, and I'll buy another 100 at the end of the month, and I'll buy another. Because then at the end of the day, you know, if shit does dip, you're not so stressed at then, because like it does affect you emotionally. You know, say you chuck 10 grand in somewhere, and then you have a 20% drop. You're like, oh fuck, shit! I just lost 2 grand. I really probably should pull this out. But if you've chucked 100 in, and then you have a 20% dip, and then you took another 100 in, and then you start pulling back up, and by the time, you know, 5 months has gone by, you're slapping in $100 every month. You know, not only does it work better, it's just an emotional, better way to trade mentally, if that makes sense. I don't want to use the word emotionally, really. Even though people say don't ever trade with your emotions, that's easier said than done when you got money on the line. But it's whether you let those emotions dictate how you decide you're going to trade. Like, just take ADA, for example. You know, when I woke up today and Rolls told me the price, I was like, oh damn, man, is it dumping? Because like I say, could still happen. Just because you're confident in something, and the markets are kind of telling you, and previous cycles are telling you the same thing, doesn't mean it has to do that, because obviously we'd all be rich otherwise, because you'd be able to say, well, it did that last Tuesday, so it's going to do it this Tuesday, and it did that last year, so it's going to do it to the date. You know, that's not how markets work. But I expected the correction. So, like, you know, you wake up, you hear that, you're like, ah, fuck, man. Because obviously it's never as good to see red. But at the same time, well, although I'm in the green totally, because I haven't even dollar cost averaging since 67 cents, actually. I said I was going to push up till about 90, but I held back a little bit. Once we definitely on the daily, when I saw to see us stretching away from the EMA, I thought I'll wait until we have that correction, and then I'll probably come back in. So it's a little bit more of a safer time to buy back in. But yeah, like I said, you've got to sometimes, you know, the emotional takeover, like, really, maybe I should just get out there now, man, because we've seen a bit of a pullback. But like I say, I've been predicting this correction, and then you've got to take that into account. It's like, well, you've been telling yourself this is going to happen. Now it's happening. So trust the process as much as you possibly can. And like I say, as long as you're always taking profit, you don't have to worry. I will admit, though, I've took no profit on ADA at the moment, which might be a mistake on my part, but I'm that bullish on it. I'm just going to wait, really. I really am. I'm just going to roll with the punches on that, which I would never suggest to do, but fuck it, I'm doing it. Because, like I say, I'm still incredibly bullish on that bastard. Incredibly. And I've been saying for days, it's doing exactly what I said it was going to do, actually. You know, I said we could maybe see 70, possibly down to 60 cents. If we do come back down to around about the 60 cents sort of mark, I think around 60 to 65 cents, this area is going to be a real opportunity to buy back. But I don't think we're actually going to do that, to be fair, if I'm honest. I think we might see a little bit of a bit of sideways trading, and it's going to build up to snap out to that move, if I'm honest, and then we'll probably likely to see break through that Ethereum, that like I said, this major milestone. This is the main thing you want to be looking at, really, more than anything with ADA, is comparing it to Ethereum, sorry. It looks like we've popped just above 49k again with Bitcoin. It's going to attempt to go for that 50k again. Like I said, we're definitely going to have some impending price action. It looks like it's attempting to break to the upside now. Whether it's going to fake out and come back down, we'll wait and see. We'll find out in the next half an hour to an hour. What we need now is this just to pop back up, confirm, come back down, back test this little really terrible trend line, but we'll work with it, and a continuation, then an attempt to go for this high again, guys. And if we break the all-time high, I wouldn't be surprised. I'd say 55k, but both Bitcoin and Ethereum, especially Ethereum, have really been cock teases just lately. You know what I mean? Ethereum keeps breaking all-time highs, and then it's like, yeah, I'm going to go up $20. And it's like, really? Really, bro? Come on, man. Yeah, and you're breaking all-time high. I'm expecting, like, you know, a good couple of $100 getting added on, and you give me 30, $20, get out of here. Yo, what's going on, Reg? Easy's Wax sent £3, and gas fee was like £3.15. Yeah, dude, that's the problem. That's why I say this is why, like I says, why I'm so bullish on ADA and Polkadot, because the main thing until we get Ethereum 2.0, gas fees are ridiculous, man. The gas fees and congestion are choking Ethereum. To be fair, and it hasn't changed since last time, has it? Even like that could be one of the major things that's really. I don't think it is, but it could be leading towards this little kind of throttle of Ethereum's price at the moment. Regarding NFTs and that, like the price, the gas fees can be ridiculous, man, absolutely ridiculous. Also, I'm ready now if something stupid like Doge happens again. Yeah, well, that's it, innit? Like, you know what I mean? Like, say, that's why for me, Doge is always one of them ones, man. After it's dumped, it just doesn't hurt to buy a little bit. Slap it in there. Don't look at it until, you know, you either get another pump or the next cycle in the bull run, and you'll be laughing. You know what I mean? It's the best way to do it with Doge. Because it cycles every time. It does. It always pumps. And it's one of a good indicator, really, as well. If Doge is pumping, like, right, okay, it looks like alt season starting. So, yeah, man. So, yeah, it looks like ETH's attempting to have a little bit of a push up here. It's broke back into this descending triangle that we had here, which was respected quite heavily, actually. It wasn't able to break out last time. ETH wasn't. It had a bit of a dump, broke down below this support level here, and we came cascading down. We bounced off this previous support as well, and then capitulated straight through. A little bit of a fake out, though. This area is quite a strong area of resistance and support, so that really helped ETH out a little bit there. And then we had this little continuation on the downside on the 15-minute. We've broke back up now and attempting to rally to the upside. The next couple of hours will actually quite interesting on Ethereum. Actually, we've definitely got some impending price action coming very soon. So by tomorrow, Ethereum will have made hopefully a significant move. Well, if we're going up, a significant move. If we're going to have a little breakdown, hopefully not a significant move. But we have been continuing on along this trend line. We did have a big breakout around this area. I think that's when that quite severe Bitcoin dump, didn't we? I don't know if it was just after the Tesla thing or just after the... was that round about when we had the... That might have been when we had the Elon Musk tweets. Whatever, anyway. We had a bit of a big dip. It was a bit of a fake out. We've pulled back up. We've respected this trend line on the up now. So, like I say, we're coming into a real area of impending price action now. It's attempting to rally to the upside, but, you know, could easily break down out of this. Let's just hope we don't. What I really like from ETH now, like I say, a little bit of break out of this, find this as some serious support previously like it did, and then maybe trade sideways for a little bit, and then attempt to go for the 200, just like I say, just to allow Cardano just to recoup itself just here, like I say. Because if ETH makes any severe moves, that will obviously kind of like piss on Ada's bonfire, if I'm honest. You know, when it comes to these altcoins, of course, you've got to take into account, guys, that when Bitcoin and Ethereum make drastic moves, it's going to affect these. So this is the one thing that's risky about altcoins. Until the market is much bigger and much more mature and there's a lot more money in altcoins and they are kind of able to do their own cycles separately, which is going to take a while to get to that point. We're nowhere near that just yet. We could be seeing possibly a couple of decades before that happens, depending on the money that starts to come into the market. These are always going to be affected whether Ethereum and Bitcoin decide to have a massive run to the upside. They'll hold back a little bit and then run up themselves, but they really do prefer Ethereum and Bitcoin to be in strong positions but trading sideways, and that then just allows alts to just go on a run. They don't want Bitcoin dumping, and they really don't want it pumping hard. They make the best moves in that little in between space, really, that little bit of grey space. So that's kind of what we want really at the moment. And never forget as well, altcoins are where, you know, you're going to make, I don't want to say overnight money, but you're going to be able to make faster gains than what you are on things like Ethereum and Bitcoin. They're like long-term gains, really. Like, not to say that Ethereum is anything like silver or gold, but just in comparison of like long-term gainers, that's what they're great for. And your altcoins are kind of like, you know, short-term assets that you can make massive amounts of money on in a year or two or even less, where like, you know, Bitcoin and Ethereum are something that you're probably looking at a bit more of a long term, if you look to make serious cash anyway, that is, unless you've just got massive capital and you can come in at a market low and, you know, ride the rocket ship, man. Let's have a look here. I just used Doge and Angle. It's old news in my opinion, but there's lots of cheap options. Oh yeah, definitely, dude, man. Like, there's plenty of these. Like, they're not obviously, but you know, penny stocks in a way. That small cap altcoins have massive potential to 100x, 1000x even. But then at the same time, they have massive potential to just fucking dump as fast as fuck because the market cap's so small. But even on, like I say, there's some of these bigger altcoins as well. Plenty of room for making gains, man. You're saying having a look at Engine, yeah? Down 3.5% on the day, is it? What's it sitting at the minute? 56 cent, yeah? Let's get this up on there. Let's get this up on the big screen, shall we? I need to figure out how to find them before the fact. That's it, man. That's the hardest thing, dude. That's the hardest thing, really, when it comes to... Oh, man, he had a big pump there, didn't he? To finding the gems, really. You know what I mean? That's why, like I say, never be afraid, even like myself. You know, why when people say, oh, I don't look at YouTube videos, and I'm like, why would you do that? Because sometimes, you know, you could be scrolling through YouTube and somebody speaks about a particular coin, and then you go and look and you're like, holy shit, this looks like a gem. You know what I'm saying? So, like, I'd always suggest that, guys. Never be afraid to use... Like, I'm not saying take financial advice from YouTubers, but at the same time, nothing wrong with watching some videos to find out some diamonds in the rough, shall we say. Man, freaking Engine has, like... Man, that had a crazy-ass pump, didn't he? What time was that? So... It was on the 11th, early hours. Man, Jesus Christ. That was like an hourly candle, yeah? Jesus. That was a big boy hourly candle right there. Shit did 43% in an hour. That's got to be a pump, yeah. But it's holding it, though. That's a crazy move right there. 43% in an hour, dude. That's fucking insane. You know what I mean? Like, on them sort of moves, you know, if you're just in at the right time, you can make a nice little fucking scalp off something like that. It does have these quite shocking uptakes, though, doesn't it? It's not the first time it's done it. Like, it trundles along and then snaps out vertically. It's done it like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times where it's just like, just snapped. So, yeah, man, that's had some really nice moves, that has. Personally, for me, what's its entirety of its move? Let's go from its low here, shall we? And go to its high. 460%. That's been nice, man. That's been nice at the start of this year. If he was already in Engine, GG's, man. Hopefully you're getting some tendies there. Personally, for me, I wouldn't be getting in with it now because it's a little bit risky. But let's have a look a little bit closer here to this move. And after such a move, it's gonna correct a little bit. And this weekend has shown we've had corrections below the EMA bands, but. We've kind of, if we previously go off this kind of descending triangle, we've broke below it. We are attempting to get back up there now, possibly find some support. If this can break back up and find a little bit of support around here, yeah, man, if we can break out of here, we could see some more potential to the upside. That'd be quite nice. And looking at the previous little spikes like that, it kind of does come out of those spikes and has a little bit of a move to the downside, doesn't he? Recoups and then kind of snaps out of it. So, yeah, man, plenty of possible maneuvers to the upside there, if I'm honest. One that I'd stay away from, though, personally, because I've missed the train. But yeah, man, if you're in on Engine, GG's, man, that's had some nice movements. And like I say, still possibly more to go. We're in a bull run. These descending triangles are typically bearish, but really, when you're in bull runs, quite a lot of the time, they do break out to the upside. I've been noticing more and more. We typically have these descending triangles. There's a little fake out. We come back in and then we break out, which, you know, makes sense since, like I say, we're in a bull run. What's going on, Mud Medusa? This is crazy. I've been sub since 4th grade, and your COD videos. Love to see you growing. Yeah, invest, get that money. Crypto is the future. Definitely, dude, man. Agreed. Decentralized finance is the way to go, and appreciate you popping back, dude, man. Yeah, I've been mainly gaming, streaming over on Twitch for a while now, but I don't want to mix my gaming stuff with like the crypto bullshit. I'm hoping to be back live on Twitch this week. I keep saying it, but like, just, you know, it's just too much going on, man, to be playing video games at the minute. Even though I love video games, you know, there's just money to be made. But I really should try and get back streaming as well, because obviously, you know, I make money on streaming as well. But yeah. Let's have a look at Dash, because Dash has been making moves, hasn't he? It's down 4.5% on the daily. Oh yeah, Dash snapped. It's just sitting at the minute, just short of 242, 241.50. Let's have a look from this initial move out to this lower. What did we peak out at? 194%. I'd like looking at Dash. It looks like it's got a little bit more room to go. Like everything else at the minute in the alt scene. Had this run, having this little bit of a pullback now at the moment, but not surprised, because pretty much everything is. And we did, if you go back here, we did have quite a bit of bearish divergence, so it makes sense that pullback really is bound to happen. MACD looks like it's trying to cross over into a bullish crossover though. And the RSI is looking a lot better now, and it looks like it's trying to find a little bit of support above that EMA band as well. So yeah, man, I wouldn't be surprised if we see some more upside on Dash. Well, obviously it's a bull market. It's not surprising if we see continued upside on freaking altcoins or whatever. You know, this is the time to be making moves to the upside. But you know, we've just had corrections across the board really, but looking strong as well. Looking at waves, is it waves that have the wave decks as well? It is, isn't it? Because I've been as well, guys. Little FYI, you know my incent codes I've been talking about. That is up at the moment. I think it's like up 5 or 6x at the moment. I think last time we checked incent, was it like, it's usually around about 4 cents, something like that. I think it went up to 12 cents. I think it's sitting at 45 cents at the moment. So it's up massively. I'm actually trying to get some of my incent out to the Waves wallet, but it's shit, man. I just sent over a little bit and it hasn't transacted over yet. It says it's transacted, but whether or not the fucking wallet's received it or not, I don't know. I'm gonna have a little look at that later. So yeah, just a little FYI on that, guys. If you do get your incent at the moment, it's worth a lot more than it was last week, okay? Which makes sense because, you know, everything's running. There's no reason why incent wouldn't run as well. I've been looking at a few on YouTube. As soon as I start to mention their sale pitch, I usually dip and avoid. Yeah, like there's a couple of dudes who I watch who do the sales pitches, but also give great technical analysis as well. And it's MDX Crypto. He's mainly off his bot, but the bot does seem to be really good at what it does. And there's Mitch Ray as well. And Mitch is just entertaining to watch, like, because he knows what he's talking about, but he's just really, like, deadpan as well. You know what I mean? Like, he's just so, like, straight face when he says shit. Like, he's messing around, like, and he seems like a chill dude, but he's just straight face when he says stuff. I can't help but laugh at him. And he's one that sells a Patreon and all that sort of stuff. But you know, like I've learned quite a bit off him myself as well, personally. But I wouldn't pay for these Patreons and these, you know. The only things I'd ever really pay for, if like say with MDX, with his Patreon, you get access to his bot, which, looking at his bot, personally, I think it's worth it. I might test out his Patreon just to check out the bot, really, just to test it, more than anything, just be like, you know, okay, give it a little review. I think this is maybe worth it. And like some people do like sales pitches for indicators, which I'm a little bit more okay with, because, you know, at the end of the day, if you could pay somebody 50 quid for an indicator and then you start making a couple of grand a month, it's worth it, innit, really? But I agree, dude, man. You know, like I always do, I question when I see somebody that's doing the sales pitch when it comes to stuff like that, because it's like, well, if you're such a good trader, why do you need to sell that as well? But then I'm like, at the same time, I'm like, you know what? You're just getting extra money. I can't really judge that, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, if you're making 5 grand a month, why wouldn't you want to try and make 8 grand a month, 10 grand a month? So I don't necessarily judge it, but I feel you, dude. I do. I feel you. Personally, that's why, like I say, I'd rather spend time and try and learn everything myself. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, everybody has a different trading strategies, and you could pay somebody to look at their strategies, but you never know. They're never always going to be there. They might freaking get run over by a buzz tomorrow, and then you're like, well, fuck, how do I make money now? That dickhead went and died, the cheeky. Like, how could he be so selfish to go and get himself run over? How am I supposed to make money now? You know what I mean? Like, I know that's a morbid way to look at things, but it's true. Like that, you know, it's one of them things, and it's like, as you're getting older, when you're a kid, you learn to start taking responsibility, because those people that give you safety nets are not always going to be there. And if you want to get on in life, you got to take a little bit of responsibility and learn it yourself, man. Because I see a lot of people doing that. Like, I see in these streams, I see people, and I'm just like, oh, just tell me where to buy and sell. And it's like, dude, do you know what I mean? Do you need somebody telling you when to shit and piss? Like, because if you do, then maybe you shouldn't be in this, really. You need to take that time. And there's nothing wrong with, sometimes myself, like, you know, I'll be looking at an asset and I'm like, okay, this is what I think is going to happen. Then maybe I'll hop on Twitter or I'll hop in a video and somebody will mention something and I'll be like, wait a minute. And I'll go and look back and I'm like, oh, actually, now adding that to what I'm thinking, it gives me a different outlook, and that's always fine, man. Strategy is a key part, and never be too egotistical, guys, to take advice from somebody. But yeah, I feel what you're saying there, Turntable Man. You know, there is a lot of people that do that, like, and it's like, well, if you're that so successful, what, like, it's one thing if you've got a Patreon or you've got a course on the side, but if you're trying to sell it every 2 minutes, it's like, why you need to do that, dude? Fair enough if you're getting extra money off it, but you're making bank, so why do you need to do that? And it makes me think, are you really making bank? Somebody put up a tweet the other day, was like, oh, dude, I just lost $5,000 on trading, but it's okay. I made $5,500 on my trading course that I've just sold anyway, so I'm up $500. It's like there's probably loads of people out there like that on YouTube. I'm losing bags every month on trading, but I'm just about breaking in the green, you know, because I'm selling their courses to all the people. Like, so definitely be careful with those. And this space, guys, it's still new. There is incredible amount of scammers out there, man. So just be careful. Just like sub-talk started videos, so a lot of them about. Yep, I keep seeing and looking and learning. Does anyone know why I can invest under 18? I'm not too sure on that, dude. I think majority of places will, you know, expect you to be 18 because of the KYC. There is some apps and exchanges out there that don't really ask for KYC, but I'd never suggest you go and do it under the age of 18 because, you know, I don't know, depending on where you are, I don't know what the laws are and all that sort of stuff. So yeah, I'd be careful. I'd definitely be careful. But, you know, it never worth. It's not. It's worth looking into, I guess. You know, you can't go wrong looking into it. You know what I mean? Or if you've got a parent who's willing to open something in your name, but I'd never suggest that. So yeah, it's the only problem, dude. If you're under 18, it sucks. But don't worry. Like, even if you get into this market in the next 4 years, you might struggle to make as much money as what you could have 10 years ago and what you could maybe now. But this market's still new, guys. It's the thing we've got to take into account. You need to look sometimes. It's easy to think, oh, man, I missed the freaking boat. This is a new financial system. It's been around just over a decade. That's an infant. You think it's still shitting green. It hasn't even learned to walk yet. You know what I'm saying? In terms of lifespan. So as long as you, in my opinion, as long as you get into this sector within the next 10 years, 15 years, I still think you're early in the game, and that's even after big financial systems have come in. Do you know what I mean? I still think you're early in the game in terms of global adoption and stuff like that. It's going to take a solid few years to get people on board and get the banks on board and all that sort of stuff. But we're starting to see Deutsche Bank are allowing it now. I think was it JP Morgan are looking at using their investment arm to invest in Bitcoin. I know there's a lot of companies eyeing crypto at the moment, guys. Obviously they'll be eyeing Bitcoin, probably Ethereum as well. But I genuinely do think once companies start to really look at crypto as a real thing, they'll start to look beyond Bitcoin. Do you know what I'm saying? They'll start to look at things, in my opinion, they'll look towards Ethereum, they'll look towards ADA, they'll look towards Polkadot. That'll be kind of like some of the big ones they'll look for. They'll look towards Chainlink, those sort of things. So yeah, definitely don't worry about not being in on the game just yet, guys. You know, obviously if you can get in now, it's the best time to get in, but there's nothing wrong with depending on how old you are. If you can get in the bear market, you know, if you're like 16 now and you can get in the bear market in a year or two and get invested then, great time to get invested, man. A lot of people look at bull markets and think that's the best time to get invested because everyone's making money, but really now you're kind of a little bit too late on a lot of assets. Not on all, and there's still plenty of space to make money this year, but you know what I mean? You want to be in on the bear market. You want to be in when prices are at the bottom because then that's where all the gains are made. You don't want to be coming in just at the top of a run and trying to make money. Do you know what I mean? How is Bitcoin these days? Bitcoin has attempted a 50k rally. It got rejected just short of 50k. It's now consolidating a little bit. We've got impending price action. It looked like it was attempting to break out to the upside there. Obviously, this is a disgusting triangle. Don't really take too much from it. But, you know, we're definitely going to see some impending price action, in my opinion. Whether or not we go to the upside or the downside at the moment, you know, I wouldn't really like to say. We could see like a little bit of a pullback, like I say, down to this 48, 150, 48 area around about this support line, and then attempt to rally up. But I think probably until tomorrow we won't really see any drastic moves either way, if I'm honest. And Monday will be we'll see how strong the market's looking tomorrow, because typically Mondays we do see dumps, but we are in the middle of a bull market, so you know, I'm surprised if we see some nice gains tomorrow. Let's have a little look in on Doge again, shall we? Why not? Doge kind of finding a lot of resistance around this area, like I said. We'll see what happens here. It's struggling around this just short of 6.1 cents number, guys. Which there is a lot of resistance around this area, actually. So if it can break through here, we might see Doge attempt at another run. But at the moment, like, I know everything is correcting, but Doge was already dropping before this correction. But I suppose if you looked at things really like, nah, I was going to say maybe, nah, sort of a descending wedge there, but I wouldn't really like to call that. Yeah, Doge is kind of at a critical point, in my opinion, because these diamond hands are going to stop being diamond hands for much longer. And what the thing is that Doge has got going against it now, for all of the people who are still holding Doge, is that people are going to get to the point now where they're bought in around here, and like I said, have been hyped up by so many shill people who just blowing smoke up their arse that you don't worry, man, it's going to go back up. Watch Doge go to the moon, and then Doge is doing this while like Chainlink is going up, and ADA is going up, and Rose is going up, and freaking Litecoin's going up, even XRP is going up, all while Doge is coming down. I think even the people who are like full on, like, you know, I'm holding Doge, I'm just going to hold Doge, are going to start to be like, well, this geezer keeps telling me on YouTube that Doge is going to the moon, yet everything else is fucking rocketing and we're going down. So, like, that's another psychological fact that you got to take into account there. People are going to start pulling out to Doge just to dump it into something else that's mooning. Do you know what I'm saying? Litecoin's had an amazing run the last couple of days. We peaked out at $230, guys. Insane. Litecoin's had a really, really nice run over the last couple of days. Like everything else, I had a little bit of pullback, consolidating at the moment, getting ready to snap out by the looks of it to me. Looking really nice, actually. Out of all of the alts at the moment, I feel like Litecoin's still got some serious strong moves. I genuinely wouldn't be shocked if we see $1,000 Litecoin. I really wouldn't, and I'm hoping for that as well, because I've got some Litecoin. I'm actually quite bullish on Litecoin at the moment, to be fair. I think we're going to see some drastic moves from Litecoin in the coming weeks, to be fair. And like I say, I wouldn't be surprised if we get to $500 very soon. Because what was Litecoin's previous all-time high? I'm not 100% sure, man. It was around the $300 mark, was it? Or was it more than that? But anyway, yeah, it's looking nice still at the moment. I think we're going to have a breakout to the upside on Litecoin. It's just how long these consolidation periods are going to last at the moment. Like I say, it all depends on what Bitcoin and Ethereum does. But at the moment, Bitcoin really doesn't look like it wants to break out to the upside in any powerful manner. It really doesn't. Like I say, I think we're probably going to have a little bit of a breakdown, but find some support here with Bitcoin. And if we can kind of get just a little bit of this for a few days off Bitcoin, alts will be very happy about that, and my bags will as well. So keep doing what you do in Bitcoin at the minute. Like I say, we're just getting back up just to short of 90 cents as well on ADA. So, you know, it's attempting to recover those losses quite quickly. This last couple of hours has been really, really strong for ADA, actually. So that's good to see on a Sunday as well. So, you know, just because it's Sunday, don't write it off. Let's have a look at Orchid, actually. Rose. This is something that I dabbled in a while back, actually. I haven't got much in. I've only got a couple of 100 Rose, but still looking very nice. I think we've had 100% gains just lately on Rose. So, you know, that was one that was just really me just chucking couple of quid here and there at some alts when I was like, you know what, let's just see what happens with that. But Rose has been nice, man. Had some really nice movements. Once again, pretty much like everything else at the mini, we've had a bit of a retraction, just like everything else, really, which is not surprising. At the same time as well, guys, like I was mentioning the other day, I do still believe we are going to have a large retraction on Bitcoin very soon. So that's why I want to see some strong movements of everything, really, because, like I said, I do believe we might have a big retraction coming very soon for Bitcoin. It's not going to be the end of the bull run. Like I said, I think we're going to get up to around about this 55 to 60k mark before we have this retraction, and I wouldn't be surprised if you come back down to around about 42k to 45k on Bitcoin off that, maybe even lower. I hope not too much and too fast, because I don't want it to shock the market too much, but I think we're going to have a bit of a correction, and then we're going to see a run to 100k. Like it says, fucking hate this chart sometimes, man. Hold up a second, guys. So yeah, like I was saying before, reason being, we're kind of here at the mini. This is where I believe we are in the previous run. So, you know, we're gonna see another correction. If it's anything like that, it should come back down to our previous highs. So I wouldn't be surprised if we pull back down to 42k. If you do get up to 60k, maybe it happens beforehand and it's a smaller correction. But I see us coming back down to 42k after a little bit more of a run, and then I think we're going to bounce off that 42k and continue on. Yeah, let's have a look at Synth, actually, dude. I got a little bit in Synth, actually. I haven't paid much attention to it the last few days, though. It's down 5% in the last 24 hours. Like I say, nothing to be surprised by with anything that's going on in the market at the moment. We've seen market-wide corrections, specifically in alts as well, haven't we? Which doesn't shock me at all. Like I said, I've been waiting for it with ADA anyway, and ADA needs it. Synthetic's been on a nice run, isn't it, man? Really nice one, actually. He's pretty much doing what everything else is doing at the minute, dude. He seems like he's having a little bit of a retraction, consolidating. We haven't broke through what this seems like quite an important local support line. Previous high resistance, it's became support. So this is the line that we really want to look at here. We might break below it, but as long as we don't pull anywhere below $21, we'll be okay. I think really it's still attempted to continue on, actually, Synth has, even with everything that's going on, but it looks like by everything else overnight it has had a pullback. Pretty much everything has since late last night, hasn't it, really? But it looks like it is attempting to break some previous support now, which is obviously acting as resistance. So I think if we can get above this, back test this, and then attempt to go for this previous high here as well. So yeah, still bullish on synthetics personally. I do think synthetics has got a bright future just with the fundamentals, you know, allowing people to access the derivative markets without actually being exposed to said assets, which people forget the derivative market is massive, man. Absolutely massive. So if synthetics can really do well, it could be massive. I think the way it works is it tracks and links commodity prices and assets from things got gold to silver through to different stocks and derivatives, and then it generates synthetic tokens linked to the price of said asset. Actually, really kind of a cool little thing. So it allows you to get access to, like, you know, Amazon or Netflix stocks without actually being exposed to the asset, and being able to do it from anywhere in the world without having to worry about regulatory issues in said country. You know, like particular countries, you can only invest in this asset if you're an American citizen or whatever, and then you can actually expose yourself to the asset without actually investing in the asset and having to worry about all of the other bullshit that goes along with that as well. So I do think that is going to be massive, because if people really want to be able to dip the toes into the derivative market wherever they are in the world, in particular countries where they typically wouldn't be able to, synthetics is really going to open that up. So really, I do think super positive project that I think could be quite, in the coming years, something quite big. I think it's going to take a little bit longer than some of the other projects to come along, and it might find some stumbling blocks along the way with the regulators trying to do something about it. But yeah, I like the look of synthetics, man. Probably going to grab myself some more, actually, if I'm honest. I think it's got real potential in the coming years, and it's still got a lot of potential in this run as well, personally. On top of the incent increase, we just finished 3-day 2x on redeemed incent. Let's go. Yeah, man. I was just thought today. I was logging into it like to get ready to set it up for stream, and I was like, actually, we're in alt season, man. If this is actually a decent little thing, it should be running as well. Lo and behold, it is. So that's good to see as well, man. So yeah, pretty much like everything else at the minute, man. Synthetic is kind of doing its thing. It's pulling back. It's kind of recouping. It's consolidating. It's sort of correcting. Let's have a look on the daily. It really needed that as well. Starting to get a little bit overstretched. It was a little bit overbought. It's nicely set on the RSI as well now. It still hasn't even crossed over on the MACD into a bearish scenario, really. So, might still see a little bit more of a pullback on synthetics. Possibly, like I say, down to around about $24. As long as we stay above that $21 mark, though, you know, I can't see anything bad happening just yet. But like I say, pretty much everything's correcting at the moment. So it's not really too much to worry about. You know, there's not like any one individual coin that's just correcting and everything else is just flying. The entire alt market is correcting. And you guys have been watching my streams. I've been saying for last 3 or 4 days that ADA's going to have a big correction. It's due. You've only got to look at the daily to see that, you know, and it still is. It's incredibly overstretched from the EMA, but not as much now. It's come back quite a lot, actually, like a lot. So that's in a lot more of a healthier position now. I still think like it would be nice to maybe see a little bit of a sideways trading on ADA just to get us into a nice healthy position to spring off. A lot of sell orders on ADA at the minute, but that makes sense. There's probably a lot of people in panicking and selling. Like this is where weekends get flushed out. Yo, what's going on, Nightwolf? Welcome to the stream. So yeah, man, I'm bullish on synthetics, Connor. In the long run, definitely bullish on synthetics. Like what you'll get now, guys, is you'll get a lot of people who will panic sell and probably will regret it as well. I'm never one of them person who's just like have diamond hands, man, hold on. But these sort of situations, you're probably kind of just you're washing out the weak hands, really. It's not the first time that ADA's done this in this run, really. It's had these couple of days where it's corrected, pulled back down. It just needs a little bit longer here because it had such a bullish run over the last week, really. So it makes sense that it's having a little bit larger saying a larger correction, it's not really having a massive correction, but it's trading sideways a little bit. But I said that's exactly what we wanted. I'd rather trade sideways for a little bit than too much of a big dump because, you know, we've got to fight back out of that. But at the same time, a nice correction as well gives opportunities to buy also, which I am still waiting to see what's going to happen, yeah. But if we start to look like we're snapping really to a seriously bullish move to the upside, I'll probably just get some more. But I'm going to wait to see if we come back down a little bit. I think we might see a little bit more downside on ADA. Not massive amounts, but just enough just to get us back in a nice position, really, to be fair. I know this is incredibly messy, but, you know, it is what it is. Deal with it, guys. I'm sorry. But yeah, it's finding a little bit of resistance, which makes sense around about the just short of 90 cents. If you can break back up above 90 cents, I think we'll start really seeing some trend towards the upside, actually. Maybe a little bit of a stalling, a little bit of sideways trading, but I think we're looking strong to possibly break through. Like I say, it all depends on what's going on with Ethereum, though, because still, this is the chart to be looking at if you're looking at the prices of ADA. Check out the Ethereum to ADA or the ADA to Ethereum chart, guys. This is always where it's found resistance against Ethereum. That's the main thing that's holding it back on the USDT. Like I say, along with being overstretched, it's kind of like a perfect storm that it needed that correction, really, and that little pullback. It's finding a little bit of resistance there. Like I said, there's quite a lot of sell orders coming in. I mean, it doesn't surprise me that that's going to happen. Like I say, we might see some continuation down. If we can now we've broke back above into this descending wedge, if we can find this support line, this trend line as support, that's what we'll like to see, and then we'll be able to trade down this descending wedge for a little bit longer, maybe bring us all the way back down to 80 cents, and then we can snap out and have a break to the upside, hopefully. But on the hourly and the 4 hourly, things are looking a lot healthier. We've come back in. We're not oversold anymore. I mean, overbought anymore, sorry. We're definitely back in on the EMA. We're actually sitting in the EMA on the 4 hour, and it makes sense as well that we're finding a little bit of resistance there, actually. My chart's that messy, I couldn't even see my EMA bands. We're finding a little bit of resistance here, breaking out to the EMA, which kind of makes sense with everything that's going on, you know. It's still bullish as fuck though on it. Let's go back and have a little look at Doge again as well. Doge is really, actually, let's pop out of that because it's probably froze because Binance loves to do that. Yeah, it's still really struggling around that 60 cents mark, which I said it would continue to probably do unless it gets a nice strong movement to break through that. If it really gets rejected hard off that, which it looks like it actually is at the moment, probably going to see some more downside. If Doge breaks this sort of support around here, this is quite an important level of support in my eyes. If you break through this, Doge is probably going to flush all the way down to 52 cents and probably below that. Then this is going to be the real next level of support around about the 46 to 47 cents. I keep it's easy to man, because I'm looking at ADA all the time that's like 60, 70, 80 cents, and then I look at Doge and I'm like 7 cents. So we could really see a flush down into the 4 cent mark if we do break down here. Like I say, the only thing that's kind of really doing Doge, it's doing Doge well at the moment is because we had such a strong bull run up with plenty of areas of resistance that then turned into support, and obviously it's finding a lot of that support on the way down, really, which is actually quite surprising. But then again, I suppose not really, with how many people have bought into Doge and how many people, like I say, would have bought in around these areas and bought in these areas thinking it's still going up, and then bought in these areas and then still bought here. And I still know there's a shit ton of people buying Doge here from the streams that I've been popping in here and there to watch the crazies, because I must admit, I love passion in the crypto space, but I've got to admit some of the Doge people are a little bit mental, if you ask me, because it's like, it's one thing wanting to do something, but it's another thing, trying to lie to yourself. Bitcoin Cash looks like it's attempting to rally again. I've got a little bit of Bitcoin Cash. When I initially bought it, everybody was like, nah, man, shitcoin cash. And I get it. I do get it. But at the same time, there's quite a few companies actually stepping in to use shitcoin cash at the minute, because it's got incredibly fast transaction rates. And that's initially what it was forked from Bitcoin for, was that it was designed to be, the cash version of Bitcoin, really, as something that you'd use as a transactionary thing rather than a store of value. But yeah, it's actually popping at the moment. This is when I was kind of like wasn't really looking at charts too much. I think I bought my Bitcoin Cash around about the 550, 600 mark, I think. And then obviously for a while we've been in a downtrend, but I was like, you know what, we're coming to a bull run. I ain't gonna bother selling it, and it's working out so far. Actually in the green on it, not massively, because like I said, I bought it at a bad time. But you learn, you live and you learn. That's why you should always play, especially when you're new, with amounts that you're comfortable losing, because you're gonna make mistakes. You are gonna make mistakes. It's gonna happen, guys. There's no doubt about it. Like I say, even the pros make mistakes, and let's face it, if you're watching someone in a live stream, or like me, you're live streaming, fuck all, really. That's why we're here, ain't we? Well, you guys might be here thinking, this geezer knows shit. Trust me, I know fuck all. So yeah, just be careful what you're investing in, guys, and how much money. Like I say, always put in what you're willing to lose, and you can't go wrong there. You know what I mean? If you make money, you're buzzing. If you lose money, sucks, but it ain't like you're going to go and put a fucking gun in your mouth, is it? Because you're not fucking... You're not betting on the fucking mortgage or the rent or, the family holiday money, or, you're not pawning off your missus's engagement ring to go and buy yourself some fucking Doge, or anything, guys. No matter how tantalising an asset looks, don't ever do that. Even if, in your head you're adamant, and even if it turns out to be right, just don't do it. It's silly. And I know it seems like such a logical thing to say to people, but there's people out there that will do that shit, man. There's people out there that will get themselves into serious shit. Wasn't it like not long back, didn't a young lad kill himself over a Robin Hood glitch? I think, where like it was saying that he was like 700 grand in the red or something like that, but it was actually like a UI glitch apparently, and he actually wasn't in the red. He was in profit, and he actually fucking killed himself over it, which is just fucking sad as fuck when you think about it. But that's why I say at the same time, guys, you don't ever want to put yourself in that position, because, man, like, shit can be stressful, man. Like, investing is stressful anyway, you know what I mean? You're investing, like, people will tell you never to emotionally trade. That's shit line, really, but you know what, we're going to rock with it. I still reckon it'll get respected. It's easy, like I says, you don't want to ever emotionally trade, But you can't negate emotions. We're human beings, aren't we? You're going to have emotions. When you're putting money on the line, you don't want to lose it and you want it to make money. And when you start seeing it make money, it's easy to get all euphoric and, be like, oh, that's it now, man, we're making money, and not really keep your eye on things. And next thing you know, you're in the red, or you start to go down and you're like, fuck, sell, because you're panicking. And then you look the next day and you're up double what you actually initially invested in. You'll start to see the difference between dips and dumps. And that's not always apparent. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes, that's why you should never aim to go for the top. I was lucky on both of those runs. I got it right at the top. But that's not always going to happen. It's better to get it round here then try to get it round here and get it round here because you're expecting it to come back up. Do you know what I mean? That's what I always say to people, guys. If you can take your profit on the way up and then try and get as close to the peak as you can and then take it out on the way down, and then when you get to that 40-50%, get it out, get your bags and fuck off home. That's what I'll suggest anyway. It looks like Bitcoin Cash is having a little rally now. 730 USDT. Guys, it's popped through its local high here. I don't even know what the all-time high is on Bitcoin Cash. Was it like 3K or something like that? I'm having a serious brain farts at the minute. If anybody wants to Google that for me, guys, let me know what the all-time high was for Bitcoin Cash. I don't know why I've got it in my head. I've got it as like 3.5K or something like that, but I could be wrong there. So if that's the case, there's still plenty of room for Bitcoin Cash to have a diddly-daddly run. Engine, is that moving or is it locked up? I think it's locked up, hasn't it? Because, yeah, fuck you, Pix. It hates me. It hates me, Binance does. It hates me. Let's get rid of this because this is a terrible fucking trend line, isn't it, this really? Let's go off our bottom close there. If we go off our bottom close, which is probably not the best one to go off, let's get both in actually, like. So this is going to be its area of resistance for Engineer, but it looks like it's attempting to rally through. It had a bit of a strong fake out really, but it's bounced back quite strong. But nothing too much to worry about at the minute with majority of these guys because they're just all kind of having a little bit of a pullback. Bitcoin Cash is on a little tear here, isn't he? It's a going, baby. It's a going. It's on a run. We got a runner. It's up like what? About $10 in the last 20 minutes or something. Up 14% on the day, having a little rally there. It's kind of cool to see. I wonder how high we can go before we have a correction. Sorry about burping in your ears, guys. I do apologise. Let's have a little look at Ethereum as well. Ethereum still pushing to the upside there. It's going to attempt to see if it can break out. We'll see. I've got a feeling because Ethereum is a massive troll just lately. I think it is going to respect this trend line. It's going to break back down, and then it's going to turn along, and then it's going to decide what it wants to do at the last minute. Probably, I think it's going to make us wait, you know what I mean? And then it's probably going to shoot up by about $15 and be like, just joking, because it loves to do that. Ethereum does at the minute. Every time it's had an all-time high, it's like, yeah, it's gone up like $10. It's like, dude, stop fucking doing that. If you're going to have your all-time high, can you actually make a run, please? ADA's still sitting around at that 88 cents. Let's get these closed down because we've got a bunch of tabs open at the minute. Anyway. Let's have a look. What we're looking at here. Let's have a look at Link, actually, shall we? What's Link doing at the minute? Looks like Link's starting to get back in the green as well. I think Link's done the same thing overnight. Just had a bit of a retraction. Still sitting at $34. Like I say, wouldn't be surprised if we see $100 Link this run. There's people out there that are saying that, Link is going to have insane prices in the future. It's going to mean massive, massive market cap. But like I say, the market's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, isn't it? Weird pattern there, really. Quite an unusual pattern that is, isn't it? And a spike continued to the upside. Kind of mirrored exactly the same thing there. It looks like a Link actually has weathered this retraction better than most over this weekend, really. It's kind of just mirrored what he did previously, isn't it? It looked like it was starting to get pulled back by the rest of the market and then just fought it off, and then it's happened again, and it's kind of doing the same thing again, actually. It's finding support on the EMA bands as well there. Link looking really nice, man. Link's looking bullish as fuck. What's that? What's it saying? Yeah, man. MACD looks like it's about to cross over. Selling pressure's waned off. Looks like it's starting to build some buying pressure as well now on that also. You're probably going to have quite a few sell orders set for around about the previous high as well. Yeah, in a nice ascending triangle there. If you come off that local trend line as it's switched up to be a little bit more parabolic. Man, Link's looking really nice because Link kind of like trundled along for ages, man. Like me and like I know a few other people was like, Link, am you gonna fucking wake up? Like, and you look at it now in hindsight, and it's been moving nicely, but it's just not been moving as strong as we like. You know, it's had these quite swingy days on its way up, but it's really fucking it's really switched gears up now, hasn't it? Probably going to find some resistance around this sort of area as well. Makes sense. Previous resistance. It's probably this sort of area is going to be a little bit of a quagmire for it over the next hour or two. If you can break through this area here, I think we'll be fine to break through that previous all-time high, actually, if I'm honest. And then I think Link is looking super explosive like now. It's like it's real. That's why it's been coiling up for a while. So I really do think if you can break through that, what is that previous high? Is it $35? I think we'll see $40. Once that breaks through, I think within a few hours of breaking through that, I think we'll see $40. I really do. I think it'll move there quite quick, actually. If it makes a move like this, you know, we could see it in like less than a day. And then, you know, these sort of numbers, these 40s, these 50s, 100s, they're like really round numbers, man. I know it sounds mad, but people do take note when assets hit $100 or a buck or $10 or $20. It's like, you know, people take note of an asset hitting $1 a lot more than they do an asset hitting 35 cents or even 65 cents. It's a psychological thing that's there with people. You just got to look at Doge, you know, that's a really good way to look at things, how people are working, that, you know, people are really looking at that 10-cent margin for Doge. Obviously, it's a psychological barrier as well, but it rings true to people, doesn't it? 10 cent, because they can look at that as like, okay, that's 1/10 of a dollar kind of thing, and then they can extrapolate, okay, so if it gets to this, and then 10x's, I'll be at this, and then it allows people to do that easier math in their head. So if you notice, people do tend to look at assets like that, actually, in a little bit more of a simplified way as well. At least retail and new retail do as well, which, you know, it's not really the best way to be looking at things, guys. You want to look at initial investment risk and your returns, basically. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, the price obviously matters, but it's not the price's returns. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what I always say, because people are looking at an asset that goes from 20 grand to 40 grand and think that fucking hell, which is crazy, but they'll think that's how you're making money. Where it's these smaller movement, well, not smaller movement, but smaller numbers. Say an asset goes from $1 to $5. You might be in the grand scheme, you might, well, that's fuck all, but that's 5x compared to a fucking 100% move on a 20 to 40 grand. If you've got 10 grand in on something going from $1 to 5 grand, you're making a lot more money than having a grand in on something going from 20k to 40k. Do you know what I mean? I think a lot of the time people forget that. There's one thing as well that I've noticed, which I'm actually quite shocked by. A lot of people still seem to think that they're priced out of Bitcoin, because I think a lot of people still have this misconception that you have to buy one Bitcoin, that you can't. It's not. A lot of people don't seem to believe that it's divisible. You know, there's 100 million satoshis in a Bitcoin, so you're not priced out of Bitcoin, guys. You're definitely not priced out of Bitcoin. So always remember that as well. If you do think that and you're like, I can't buy a Bitcoin, you can buy $50 worth of Bitcoin. You can buy $100 worth of Bitcoin. You can buy whatever the minimum amount an exchange will allow you to buy a Bitcoin, or of any asset, really. So just remember that as well. So yeah, we've had a look at ADA. We've had a little look at Link. Link's looking super bullish. ADA's looking not too shabby at all. I think it's still got room to keep correcting, though. I think we might see some more downside off ADA. It is attempting to like break out of this low here. I think if we can get above this 88.25 and hold there, we might see it attempt to break out and continue to the upside. But like I say, I really wouldn't be surprised if we do find ourselves trading down a little bit more within this descending wedge. It'll make sense, and it'd be healthier as well. It really still does need a little bit more of a correction. ADA does, because like I say, the daily's still looking a little bit too overbought and a little bit too overstretched in my opinion, but we'll see what happens there. Let's have a look at XRP, because XRP, I actually bought a little bit more XRP, only a little tiny bit, because really, it's a bet for me, in a sense. You shouldn't trade like that, but it's kind of like a bet for me, because I think XRP is still going to see some decent numbers within this run, just due to the fact that it's altcoin season. But this one for me is purely a flutter. And you should never trade like this, but the reason it's a flutter for me is the SEC court case is the 22nd. So we're like, we're just a week away from the court case now. Just over a week away from the court case. And if they get off on the court case or the winning or the case is dropped and they're allowed to continue trading, Ripple is going to fucking explode. And I mean explode. Like, you're going to see insane movements from Ripple, like absolutely insane movements. But it's one of those where it literally is just a 50-50. You know, it's one of them, you're going into the casino with that one and you're pouring your money down on black or red. That's all it is. So if you do decide to mess around with Ripple, guys, XRP, it's totally a punt. That's all it is. It's just straight a punt, man, because at the moment, anything could happen. Like I say, they have the court case going on with the SEC. If they lose the court case, it's going to dump. Is it the end of XRP if that happens? I don't think it is. It depends, really. I don't exactly know where like Ripple are based and everything as well. Like I don't know what it'll actually do to Ripple. But you know, I think it'll be like if the SEC or the US government goes after USDT. I think in the short term, it'll cause USDT to dump and cause effects with it, but it'll come back up to being a stable coin again, just because like America's not the only place that trades crypto. It's the biggest market, really, in terms of people with lots of capital to pour into it. But you got to remember now, guys, man, that America, you know, we're not in the 80s or even the 90s anymore. The world is advancing at a rapid pace. You got Southeast Asia, China, you got Europe as well now. Africa is really getting on board with crypto, guys. I think it was Nigeria or one of the other governments were looking at trying to regulate crypto. They've now totally decided to drop that. There's rumblings of some of the African nations maybe putting Bitcoin on their balance sheets as a reserve, which is mental if that happens. That will be absolutely mental. So that'll be something to look out for as well. Yo, 99, what's going on, fella? Coming in with the $5 holla. How you doing, buddy? How's it going, man? Hopefully as well, dude. I saw your messages in Discord, man. I'm really sorry to hear that about your pops, man. Hopefully he's feeling better soon, dude. And it really doesn't, like, you know, cause him too much issues, man. Yeah, it fucking sucks, doesn't it, when you got a family member that ain't very well, dude. So hopefully everything's all good, buddy. And welcome to the stream as well, my dude. Appreciate you stopping by, man. Hopefully you're doing all right yourself. Obviously, I know, you know, with everything that's going on, but hopefully physically you're doing all right yourself as well, my dude. Yo, guys, look what I'm saying, man. Bitcoin Cash is on a little trundle here, man. About a nice little $20 jump in the last few minutes, so that's nice to see. Bitcoin Cash is really on a little tear, man. Breaking out of this correction faster than anything by the looks of it at the moment. Litecoin is trending in this downward wedge here. Makes sense. So it is respecting the trend line here. Probably going to continue to trend within it. And then I'm expecting a break to the upside on Litecoin. Because like I say, I still think we're going to see a $300 Litecoin very soon. And I do believe we could possibly see a $1,000 Litecoin in this run. I'm being a little bit more bullish on that, actually, if I'm honest. I'm fine physically, emotionally, not too well. I can understand, dude, man. Like I say, man, sending my love and my best wishes. Gotta send out that good energy, man. I hope your pops recovers as fast as possible, my dude. It fucking sucks, man. It sucks. Like my auntie and my uncle had it the other week, and luckily though they've got better. So you know, but yeah, it sucks. Looking here again, guys, Doge does look like it's getting rejected off that. You know, it's built another lower high on the local there. It continues to do so. It's really starting to generate lower lows as well. Now we're probably going to come back down and test these 5.6 cents. If this fails, I really do think we're going to flush down to the 4.5 cents, 4 cents area. And then if that fails, it's down to 2 cents, and then the run's over for Doge. Probably will see some dead cat bounces though. If we do come through, we might see a little bit of a dead cat bounce off here, and then, you know, follow through, and the same sort of thing happening here. Because, you know, with the way people are at the minute with Doge, and that's what kind of happens on downward trends. People are buying in massively. You know, every time we've had these big dips, there's been a bit of a dead cat bounce, dip again, dead cat bounce, dip again. Probably going to happen again. Well, it's tried to. I think we might see this sort of movement a little bit, and then we're going to see the same thing happening again. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if this is the kind of movement we see off Doge now. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like this is inevitably the way Doge is going to go. But I think once we get down to this area, it's going to be quite fast, and the drop is. It sucks when someone has, yeah, dude, it does, man. It really does. Like, it fucking blows. And the worst thing about it all is, like, typically, like, I don't know, like, a family member, I don't know, was in a car accident or injures herself, God forbid, or, is ill in some other way. Everybody can go and see them and, rally around them and help with that mental. And the problem with all this corona shit is, when people end up in hospital, the ability to see them stripped away as well, isn't it, as well? So that's the, like, really rough part with all the Rona shit as well, man. It's that thing of, like, well, I want to really go and see them and see if they're all right. And even if they are in a position where, they're looking like they're going to recover, one of the worst things, man, being in hospital and not having anybody to come round. I'm glad I'll never have to experience that. Like, I've been in hospital myself a couple of times over my lifetime, but obviously I've always been able to have family members come in, or like an ex-girlfriend or something like that, like, or like, mates come into the hospital and stuff like that. I really wouldn't like to be in hospital and not be able to have anybody come and see me, because whether or not you're really ill, hospitals just fucking suck, man. You know what I mean? The food sucks. It just sucks to be around fucking that whole thing. And they're just horrible places to try and sleep as well. Because I've had multiple times that I've spent a couple of weeks in hospital, like, you know what I mean? Like, with my asthma in the past, being really ill. And one of the things you don't really think about in hospital is just trying to sleep at night, because it's a hospital. You know what I mean? Unless you've got your own private room in a quiet area of the hospital. If you're on a ward, you've got all the people in there being loud and nurses in and out checking on people all night, and then you have the other groups of nurses who like watching other groups of people at their little desks and stuff, all talking and laughing and just doing their job, and that, like, it sucks, man. It really does. So yeah, man, definitely send him my love, dude, man. Hope he gets well soon, man. I'm sure he's a fighter though. Like I say, Rosie's granddad had it while he was in hospital regarding his catheter bleed, and like, he's quite old and he's got cancer as well, and he fucking soldiered through it, man. So hopefully same thing as well, my dude. Looks like we're breaching back above 40k on Bitcoin there, guys. Broke out of this tiny little local, I know we got this kind of attempt at a shitty triangle there, but we did kind of break out a tiny little ascending triangle there, didn't we? I love to see my ascending triangle patterns, man. I look for them all the time. They typically are great, even if they don't work to massive breaks to the upside. They do typically show continuation. So Bitcoin looking nice there. If Bitcoin does rally a little bit here, he probably is going to pull back some of the altcoins to a degree, and they might stagnate a little bit more. But like I say, we need that at the minute with quite a lot of these coins. They're a little bit overstretched. We need that healthy pullback, settle down a little bit, and get ready to run, like, you know what I mean? Like I say, it's like sprinting for a mile and then being expected to climb a bunch of ladders and break through a door. You want to get to that, you want to sprint that mile. Well, not sprint it, but run that mile, get to the ladders, have a little rest. That's your little correction, your little fucking chill, your little regroup, and then get yourself up the fucking ladder, and then maybe have another little bit of rest before you try and kick the door down, because if you try and climb the ladder after you've fucking done the run, you're probably going to fall off and come crashing down. Terrible analogy, but you get what I mean. You know what I mean? Just trying to fucking simplify a little bit. It looks like VeChain's attempting to break out of this descending wedge here, guys. It looks like this little correction that happened over the weekend, they're trying to fight back now. A lot of these coins are, and trying to break out to the upside, which is happening a little bit earlier than I thought, actually. We just need ADA to do it now, because like I said, I'd like to see ADA try and attempt this and then trade sideways a little bit, so we can get that, like, we can get that. We like I said, we need to pull back a little bit, just to allow the EMA and allow the RSI just to not be overbought on the daily. Otherwise, we could see a big ass dump. But this is perfect. This is exactly what we need at the moment. Like I say, possibly down to 80 cents. I think if you come back down to 80 cents within this wedge, or maybe just before it, bounce off just prior to that, and I think we'll see a continuation to the upside then, and it'll be a little bit healthier. We might even see another correction after that as well. Actually, that we've got to break through that dollar first. Like I say, we need this. This is what we need now. This is the major thing for ADA. Is this zone here? Break through that, good to go, and then we're probably going to see double quick as well. Because actually, how quick did it double once it broke through there, ADA? it looks like it did it pretty quick, to be fair. On the daily here, yeah. So actually, it broke through, came back down again, and then kind of used it as support, didn't it? Looked like it made some serious moves in a short period of time, didn't he? So in the space of 8 days, it went up 150%. So if we see something similar to that, guys, and we do break that, we could see in the space of a week, once we break that dollar, we could be at $2.50 within a week, guys. So that'll be insane to see if we do make those sort of moves. Ethereum still trending to the upside, just short of $1,830 at the moment. Does seem to be making those moves really slow at the minute. Ethereum's just not making any major moves really, like apart from these couple of dumps that it's had. That's about as major as the moves have got prior to this one, post this one here. Really, since then, it's kind of just been, you know, it's just building up for a big move, in my opinion. Ethereum is. I think it's going to make a seriously big move soon. That's why, like I say, I'd like to see ADA just really get itself into a nice, strong position, get ready, wait for Ethereum to make its move, because looking at things now, I think Ethereum might make the move first. Depends how strong ADA comes out of this correction. And because obviously once Ethereum really shoots up, it's gonna cause ADA to stall a little bit, because obviously it's going to find it a lot harder to break through this level of resistance while Ethereum's being really strong. It kind of needs Ethereum to settle when it attempts to go for this. So what we need now is, when this goes for this again, we need Ethereum to kind of have stalled a little bit. So it'd be good if Ethereum does have a nice explosive move really quick, shoots up to 2K, and then tries to find some sort of support around the 2K area, consolidates a little bit, and then that's when we could really see ADA go for a run, and then ADA could do its thing in a week or two, and then you know, Ethereum's just kind of like trundling along. ADA does its thing, gets up to $2.50, $3, maybe that's our peak, time to get out, and then Ethereum really starts to go for a move. Maybe it's not the peak for ADA, maybe then it just has another bit of consolidation around that sort of period and continues up. Like I say, I'm a little bit more conservative on ADA. I'm bullish as fuck in the long term on ADA, but I think this run, I'm a little bit more conservative than a lot of people. Like, there's so many people out there saying $5, $10, $20 for ADA, which I think's a bit too much of a stretch, if I'm honest, but, you know, it's crypto, man. It's crypto. I'd never say to those people that ain't going to happen. But to get to those sort of levels, the market cap would be pretty insane. But at the same time, if we do have Ethereum make a big move, consolidate a little bit, allow ADA to make a big move, and then, you know, we do this vice versa kind of tic-tac-toe thing where Ethereum has a little bit of consolidation, allows ADA to move, ADA stalls a little bit, Ethereum moves without too much of a downside from ADA, and then ADA's allowed to move again. Like, that's possible. It really is possible, because like I say, that's what we need from Ethereum at the minute. We need this sideways trading to allow ADA to break out of that. But I think we'll probably see some moves from Ethereum before that happens, if I'm honest. So it might delay this. And, you know, if Ethereum goes too parabolic, I think it will shut down the moves for ADA. But that's, you know, we can't say that for certain. We've only ever seen this once. We've seen it bounce off this 3 times, and it's kind of doing the same thing now. But bull run, bear markets, and just because that's how it worked before doesn't mean that's exactly how it's going to go again. But the trend is your friend till the end, and it kind of is. It's doing the same sort of thing, so I'm expecting it to do the same thing again. But like I say, we just need ETH to cool down just at the right time for it to do it, which probably will correlate anyway, because when ETH cools down, that's when ADA will start making its moves. It looks like ADA, like I says though, it's because ETH's having a little bit of a push-up and Bitcoin's having a little bit of a rally there. ADA's stalled a little bit. It's got rejected around this sort of area, this 88.7, which makes sense because there's a previous rejection from there. Yeah, like I say, I still think we've got more downward trend on ADA, if I'm honest. I think we're going to continue trading within this downward descending wedge, and then I think we're going to break out, hopefully. That's the plan. I'm still bullish as fuck. Still haven't took any profits, which is probably a bad thing to do on ADA. You know, but the amounts I've got in, I'm not worried about really stressing about taking profits from it too much, if I'm honest. I've been taking profits from other assets, and I'm not really worrying about that too much at the moment. But yeah, guys, always a good idea to start taking profits. Doge is back below that 6 cents mark. Like I says, I think we're going to continue down. We might see this sort of movement, this attempted rally, but it'd be a bit of a dead cat bounce, and then we're going to see this, this continuation to the downside, if I'm honest, because I really do think it's over now for Doge, at least for this run. We might see it come back down to 2 cents again and have another attempted rally, have like a 3-pump cycle this cycle, but I think the next pump won't be anything like the first two. The hype's died down unless some big celebrities really get involved. I think we're just going to see us pull down to the 2 cent mark, dead cat bounce, and then dump, if I'm honest. That's the most likely outcome, in my opinion, for it. Bitcoin Cash still rallying, sitting at just short of 740 now, guys. Really, he's going for it at the moment. Bitcoin Cash is, so that's nice to see. So if you've got any Bitcoin Cash, man, hopefully you're in the green now. VeChain attempting to break out of this descending wedge here, guys. It's found support across here as well within this descending wedge. So the most likely move, not the actual move, but at the minute we've crossed over on the MACD. Most likely move for me now is what you want to hope, what you want to see is this close, find some support off this previous trend, and then continue rallying to the upside. And as we go, we'll create this little ascending triangle here from the previous high. And to me, that's one of my favourite things to see, man, especially in a bull market, because that usually shows good moves to the upside, man. So looking good there on VeChain as well. Like I say, everything's looking quite good at the minute. Like at first, you might look at things and be like, well, everything's down 5, 10, 15, 20%. But this is all expected in terms of the alt markets, really. And quite a lot of the coins now are actually starting to break out of this consolidation and attempting to rally. So that's good to see. Let's have a look at Rose again a second. What's Rose doing? Dash looks like it's settling now just on that EMA band. Litecoin is attempting to break out of this descending wedge, which I'm hopeful for because I'm still super bullish on Litecoin. Think we can easily see 500 to 1,000 this run, easy, in my opinion. If we can break out here, find some support, we'll see continuation to the upside, and then all we need to do is break this previous local high, which shouldn't be too hard. This 228 will probably be the struggle bus, if anything. There'll probably be, if you look in the sell book, I bet there's quite a bunch around that sort of mark if you can get up to that level. It's probably not going to let us go that way up, but there's a lot of small orders though, really. That shouldn't be too much of an effect if we have a nice push to the upside there. Yo, what's going on, Benji? Welcome to the stream, buddy. How you doing, fella? How's it hanging? So yeah, VeChain, like I said, attempting to rally above. I guess we'll see in the next hour or so what happens there. But guys, not going to be a long stream tonight. You know, I don't want to be up too late tonight, man. I want to try and get up at a decent time tomorrow. And maybe try and bang out an early stream tomorrow. Try and get live from around about 10 a.m. till about 2 p.m. or something. Because I've got to take Rosie to the doctors tomorrow. I think she's 3 p.m. her appointment is. Same thing with synthetics, really. It's having a little bit of a correction. My opinion, nothing to worry about. It's kind of doing what all the rest of the coins are doing at the minute. It's going to come back down and bounce off this 200-week moving average, which it's kind of done in all of these previous pullbacks, really. And then, apart from this one, and then it's continued to the upside. Kind of looks like we're doing the same sort of thing here. I wouldn't be shocked if we see maybe a little bit of a pullback and we bounce down off this $24 mark. Like I said, I'm confident that we're still rallying here. As long as we don't pull below this $21 mark, I think, you know, plenty of potential upside. Super bullish on synthetics in the long run. Just got a cool idea what they're doing there. Age is just kind of like doing nothing at the moment. Link's finding a little bit of resistance around here, but like I said, I've got it marked. It's expected. This is quite a strong level of resistance all around this entire area, actually. So that's expected. Still, like I say, though, it's all part of this correction. We're probably going to bounce along and break out very soon. And once we do, we'll be at $40 in no time, in my opinion. So yeah, man, like everything's still looking super nice. I know, like, it's easy, like when you come on. Let's clear that out. Let's go to biggest market cap, shall we? Right, so like it's easy, like, you know, when you look at all this and you see these, like, and you're like, it's not good though, man. This is not good. This is terrible, like. But these, pretty much everything's correcting, guys. If you look at everything that's not in the red at the moment, it's just pulled out of a correction, and it's basically barely just back in the green. Pretty much everything across the market's had a bit of a correction, really. The only two that are doing a little bit better is Bitcoin and Ethereum, which, like I say, makes sense. Once we move into all season, when these are doing really well, everything kind of stalls. When these are doing really bad, everything does really bad. But when these are kind of just trundling along, you know, just kicking the can down the road, that's when all these guys open up. And that's why we've been seeing these guys open up over the last few days, because these two have been doing fuck all. But now they're starting to attempt to make some moves. What you'll see is a lot of people preempting these moves. There'll be a lot of people getting ready to get in on some spot buys and some longs, probably pulling money out of alts. Same thing with Ethereum. You know, there's the rumblings that we are going to snap to 2K soon. It looks like we're going to break out. People are going to be putting money into Ethereum that would have probably chose to put into altcoins at the minute. But yeah, like I say, we've had these pullbacks. I'm not stressed at all, though, really, if I'm honest. When I first woke up this morning and Rosie read out Ages pricing me, I was like, what the fuck? But it's one of them, like I say, I've been saying for days, we are going to have a correction on ADA. But when it happens, you can't help but be like, oh shit, you know, is this the correction? Are we fucking done, boys? So yeah, at the minute, everything's kind of pretty much just pushing through this correction that we've had overnight. What's going on, Mr. SimMotion? Can I take a look at VeChain and True? Hold up a second. So VeChain at the minute, we just had that hub. We just had that hub. Where are we? Okay. Right. So VeChain is consolidating a little bit with everything else, having a little bit of a correction. RSI is looking good. We've just crossed over on the MACD in a bullish crossover. It's attempting to break out of this downward wedge now, this descending wedge, which descending wedges are quite bullish. So, and we are in a bull run, so I'm hoping that we're going to break out of this descending wedge, find some support on the trend line, and then we're going to continue up in this ascending triangle here and attempt to break out to the all-time high, or this local high. So yeah, actually, what is the all-time high on VeChain as well? I'm not 100%. I'm really fucking spaced out today, guys. I'm telling you, I'm forgetting a load of shit. But yeah, I'm still confident. VeChain's looking good. It's had this bit of correction. It's weathered the correction a lot better than some of the other coins, actually. It's now broke above the EMA band as well, which is good. It's really been finding some support on that. It did break down, struggled to get back into it because it was seeing it as resistance. We're back above it now. I'm bullish on this again. RSI looks good. MACD's looking nice. And it's attempting to break out of this. Even if we don't, we might come back down. If we find, as long as we find this as support, I think we'll continue to the upside. If we break through here, might be a little bit more of a worry, but even if we do, I think we'll just continue to trade this and we'll break out and then maybe find this as resistance and then continue on up. But I'm still bullish on VET. Let's have a look at True. I don't know much about True, actually, to be fair. Talking about, is it this True USD? I'm not too sure, dude. I don't know much about True, TRU. Let's have a look at this anyway, though, just in case this is what you're talking about. TUSD? I don't know, dude. I don't even know anything about this, if I'm honest. Not going to lie. Okay, this looks like it's just a fucking stable coin, yeah. Yeah, this is a stable coin, isn't it? I never even heard of that, you know. TRU. Maybe have a look on TradingView, maybe. Oh, is it this TrueFi? Okay, I have heard of this before. I don't know anything about it, though. I'll probably best have a look on TradingView. Yeah, TrueFi. I've heard of it. I don't know fuck all about it, but let's have a look at the... Let's have a look at the what's it, shall we? Wait a minute. Is it? It's on. It's on what's it? Why is it showing up on Binance, but I'm not seeing it? Am I just... Because, like, 1inch does this as well. I can't seem to search 1inch on... But, fuck it. Let's just have a look on what's it. It's showing it on Binance also. I don't know what the fuck's going on there. Holy shit, that's had a... I should have run it, huh? I should have fucking run it. Let's have a look on the local. That's had a nice run though, isn't it, really? Not got much info on it though, on Binance. It's had an 188% rally. It's down at the moment. But like I say, we have had everything correcting though. That has had quite a bit of a decent pullback there, isn't it? It has found resistance at this previous high here. So it is finding support, sorry, on this previous resistance. So that's good to see. He's attempting to rally back up, isn't he? It's in this. It's broke out of it now though, actually. So yeah, man, it's looking bullish if you ask me. It's broke out of this descending triangle. It found support at this previous high. It's broke out. There's no reason why to think that won't have a continuation to the upside now. It just looks like it got slapped quite hard by a hard correction. I don't know too much about this, though, really, to say much about like fundamentals and stuff. Let's see if we can find see if we can find a. Is it on Kraken at all? So if we can find something with a little bit more history, maybe. See, looking at it at first, you think, it looks a bit rough, but like I say, it is finding support on that previous resistance. So, yeah, man, it's broke out of this downward trend as well, out of that descending triangle. So, short term, looks quite bullish. Whether or not we manage to break this high is a different question, to be fair. But if I had this, I'd be wanting to at least have took some profits, but I definitely wouldn't be out of this just yet, because like I say, we've broke through this trend line, and it looks like it's back tested it and found some support, so there's no reason to not think we wouldn't see continuation to the upside there as well, actually. So yeah, that doesn't look too bad at all, actually. I know fuck all about it. I'll have to look into that a little bit, actually, though, dude. I'd heard about it, but it's one I've never looked into. Like, well, thank you, dude. I appreciate that, dude. Thank you. Like, my main things I'm keeping my eye on at the moment that I've been spending my time with is like Litecoin, ADA, Chainlink, obviously Bitcoin and Ethereum, and a couple of other alts at the minute have been the ones that I've been focusing on, really. But I am trying to do as much research on the fundamentals, because like there's so many coins and projects coming out. It's hard to keep up with what's going on in it, dude. But yeah, man, appreciate the follow, dude. Appreciate it. So yeah, back up to 87 cents. Like I say, my ADA chart looks very messy, but I understand it. we are continuing this trend along this descending wedge. We did have a fake out. We managed to pull ourselves back in, attempting to get back into this descending triangle here, but I think we're going to continue trending along this descending wedge before we have a breakout. I'm still bullish as fuck on ADA. Like I says, I'm that bullish. I've took no profits. That's probably a very big mistake, and it might come back to bite me in the arse, but I'm holding to it. I'm holding to it. I do believe we are going to see a $2.50 ADA. Like I say, once again, all about this though. It's all about the ADA to Ethereum chart, guys. The only time it broke it, previous bull run, and it did 150%. So that's what I'm looking at. Last 3 tries failed, but it is attempting to break through this now. We just need Ethereum to have a little rally and then settle, and then there's no reason why Cardano can't break through. And if it does break through this dollar, guys, because this is like the dollar mark, so if we do break through this, last time it did 150%, so I am super confident. Obviously, this is not financial advice, and I'm a degenerate trader, and I know fuck all, but I am confident, personally, that if it breaks the dollar mark and it breaks this level of resistance against Ethereum, we're going to see a $2.50 ADA, in my opinion. I wouldn't be surprised if it could push to $3 then. Like I say, I think that's conservative to some people. I've seen people talking about $5, $6, $10 Cardano. I think that's definitely a possibility. I'm bullish as hell on ADA in the long term, because I it's going to be like Ethereum in terms of the amount of money going into it and prices and just the network as well. I don't think it's going to be an Ethereum killer, but like, I think we're going to have, Ethereum, ADA, DOT are going to be 3 major networks up there allowing the DeFi space and dApps to really, really explode. So yeah, top 5 altcoins for me personally. My most bullish altcoins at the moment for me are, in terms of long term, are Cardano, Polkadot, Chainlink, Litecoin, and what should we say for the 5th, man? I'd probably synthetics, probably. There's a bunch, like, but you know, I'm gonna go with that one there for my 5th. There's others. There's lots of others that could take that 5th spot, but yeah, I'd say synthetics, Cardano, Polkadot, Chainlink, and Litecoin. I think we're going to see a nice run off Litecoin this run. I really do think we could see a $1,000 Litecoin, anywhere between $500 to $1,000. Super easy for us to obtain, in my opinion, on Litecoin. I think we're going to see a $100 Link, maybe even more. Wouldn't surprise me at all. Link's been really, really coiling up to make some insane moves. It's only really just started getting into a real run, and we're still only at $33. So, like I say, really think we could see $100 off Link, in my opinion. The Oracle network's just doing so much, and like I say, I'm bullish on synthetics as well, because just because of what they're trying to do with synthetics, allow people to be exposed to the derivative market without actually, exposing yourself to the derivatives. You ain't got to worry about regulations and stuff like that. It's really, really cool little thing. I like the idea about that. The derivative market's massive, so that's cool. But yeah, then there are not any like hidden gems really. There's a couple that I've got my eye on. Things like Orchid. I've got a little bit in Rolls. Trying to think of some other ones. I did have some in OXT, but I got rid of my OXT. I think EOS could have a nice one. It's already started, but they're not necessarily hidden gems, really. I'm not that guy, really, for that. I tend to try and find fundamental dudes for that. I'll admit, like, I'm not that dude who's like, blah, no, because I don't fuck all, like I said. But I do like to try and find people on YouTube sometimes just to have a look, you know, because there's these guys who really, they're not so much TA guys, are they? I'm more of a TA guy, really. That's kind of where I do base most of my trading on, but I do try and, you know, do as much YouTube watching as I possibly can, actually, to try and find, you know, some new projects that are on the up and up that I possibly haven't heard of or wouldn't have heard of, which I probably should have done last week, actually. I was planning to set aside some time to really look into some possible up-and-comers. As well, like, this is a weird one, like, you know, XRP, right? XRP's got its issues. I know it has. The fact that it's, the way it's ran, it's not the best. It's not the most decentralized. We've got the escrow account. We've got everything that's going on with the SEC. But I did make a bit of money off XRP on the previous pump, and I put in some perfectly timed lungs, actually. You know, very rarely that happens. You get perfectly timed trades. Yo, as well, guys, if you want to get yourself a little bit of free crypto, you can from the Incent app. You can hop onto your phone, iOS or Android. It's on the stores, guys. Search Incent, INCENT. And then when you're watching the streams, if you just scan the QR code or you just put the code in on the app, you can get yourself a couple of cents worth of free Incent. And it's actually done a little 5x over the last couple of days as well. So that's awesome. I think it's sitting at like 45 Australian cents, so, you know, not too shabby at the minute. I think you have to pull that out using a Wave wallet, though, just to let you know. But, you know, it's free in it at the end of the day. Don't really matter what it's worth. But XRP, I've made a little bit of cash off it, and it's one that I wouldn't ever suggest, and I never suggest for you guys to do with your money, but, like, even for myself, it's not one I suggest to trade. But hear me out. I'll never give you financial advice, but this is not even trading, right? This is not how you trade. I'm just putting a little bit on XRP, and it's only a little bit because it could go either way, on a punt that they possibly win the SEC case. You know, I don't know what's going to happen in the case, really, if I'm honest. But there's part of me that's just like, you know what, fuck it. It's a casino trade, basically, for me. This is with XRP, which I don't ever suggest to ever do. Don't ever trade like that. It's a degenerate way to trade, but I'm a bit of a degenerate, and sometimes, fuck it, you know what I mean? Have a punt, and it's a punt, basically. I'm in the casino, I'm chucking it down on black, and I'm just waiting to see what happens, and if they win the XRP, they win the SEC case, it's going to fucking explode. If they don't, it's probably going to dump. I do think XRP will still continue, because massive amount of money goes to XRP. This is the thing. Financial systems are using XRP, and if we get through the SEC case, no matter all the negatives, it's got benefits for large transactions and big corporations to be able to move money around fast and cheap. So, it's going to, like, if it wins the case, it'll fucking explode. And it's been gradually having a nice couple of weeks, actually, XRP has, with everything that's going on. I know we're in alt season, which is helping, but you really think, you know, I know that the SEC case is suppressing the price, but I thought it would have suppressed it a lot more. But it's took a beat in XRPs, and it's getting up every time and trying to scrap. So, like I say, it's basically literally just off that. Do you know what I mean? I'm literally just going off XRP. Winning that case, and that's about it really. It's got nothing to do with any sort of TA, any sort of fundamental expectation, community. Even though it does have a rampant community, it's kind of literally is just to, like, you know, if it wins a case, then more than likely going to double the money in a short space of time. If it loses a case, going to lose out. But I've only put a small amount in, so it don't really fuss me. It's profit from other trades, so, you know, never trade like that, guys, because that's how you go broke. But it's just a fun little, what's it for me, you know what I mean? What's going on, Fred? Can't see. Oh, yeah, it's because I was just talking about XRP, really, on the actual rankings there. But welcome to the stream, dude. Welcome to the stream. So, yeah, like, that's what I say for me. It's just been a bit of a punt with XRP. Never trade like that, though, guys. And I'll never give you advice on what to trade on either. But, you know, like I say, it's just a fuck around with me, really, if I'm honest. Ethereum is still attempting to break this previous resistance here at 837 and attempt to go for this all-time high. But at the moment, I'm hoping we get a nice 2K and then we settle, but I ain't holding my breath with Ethereum at the minute. Like, I know it's gonna snap at some point, but it's like every time we get an all-time high, it's like an all-time high of like $20, and then it fakes us out, and it's like, fuck you, bro. Straight up trolling me at the minute. Ethereum is every time it breaks a new all-time high, I'm like, right, okay, let's get ready to put a nice little leverage long on it, and then obviously I'll wait for the confirmation, which you should always do. And it's a good thing I have been freaking doing with Ethereum, because every time I think it's about to break out, like I say, it breaks out, and then it's like, yeah, let's go up $10, and then we're gonna dump. So yeah. Litecoin is still attempting to break out of this descending wedge. Still super bullish on Litecoin. Like I say, all the altcoins really have been taking a bit of a correction over the weekend, which has been expected. We've kind of been waiting for it. Like I say, specifically, I've been waiting for the ADA correction for quite a while now. You know, because we were super... I know this is a mess, ignore it, but, you know, it is what it is. I'm keeping it on in the minute because it's just giving me an insight into previous movements, and now I've been tracking them. But yeah, I think we're going to see continued consolidation from ADA, just for the simple thing that Ethereum's attempting to make moves and ADA's going to hold off on that. But like I say, I wouldn't get too bogged down on the ADA to USDT or ADA to US dollar chart. This is the ADA chart you want to be looking at, man. And I know I keep saying it, but trust me, this is the one that I think is going to be more important than any of the other ADA charts. It's the ADA to Ethereum chart, because it really gives us a good idea of what's possible and what's really holding us back. So this is where we're at right now, guys. We're just short of $1, and this is an incredibly important milestone for ADA. I know for anybody who's been here the entire stream, you've seen me say this, but just in case you haven't, it's incredibly important. Every time we've tried to break this, we've failed, right? Apart from once before. But the thing that we've got in common with the previous time that we broke it before, we're in a bull run. But this time, ADA's been able to take full advantage of the bull run rather than coming in part way through it. Last time, it smashed through that, no problem. And when it did, it increased by 150%, guys. And then every other time, it's failed to do so. So that's what we're hoping for this time. If we break through this margin here, I wouldn't be surprised if we see another 150%, possibly more. You got to take into account bigger bull run this time. Cardano is a much better project than it was in 2017. There's a lot more hype around it. In my opinion, if it breaks this, there's no reason why we don't see 150% growth, possibly more. So that should take us to $2.50, $3 on Cardano. But it really all depends on what Ethereum's doing. We need it just after this consolidation period. I'd be happy if ADA consolidates for another day or two. Comes down a little bit in price, trade sideways for a day or two, let Ethereum have a little snap to 2K possibly, sit around 2K, start to consolidate itself, maybe trade sideways for a week or two, and then that'll set Cardano up perfectly then to come out of its consolidation, try and hammer at that dollar mark. If Ethereum's just kind of trading sideways, it'll push through this resistance, and then we'll see that large move to the upside, in my opinion. My worry is, though, if Ethereum's making super strong moves as ADA attempts to do it, it's going to stop it doing it. It doesn't mean that it won't. It will stop it doing it. It just depends on how strong the run is from ADA as well. But Ethereum is going to be the thing that really holds back Cardano in its run, if I'm honest. It looks like we're getting a little bit of a stalling on Bitcoin Cash here, sitting at 736 still. Had a nice strong breakout. It's consolidated and broke out faster than pretty much everything else. Bitcoin Cash has had an amazing couple of days, if I'm honest. It's had an explosive move from the 13th at midnight. So it's only been 24 hours and we're up 34%. It's had a really nice run. Bitcoin Cash has, and I do have a little bit of shitcoin cash actually. So happy about that. I know people like Kim.com are getting involved with Bitcoin Cash, aren't they, for using it for business transactions because it's really fast. The main reason why it was forked off from Bitcoin was to provide a currency rather than a store of value, but a use case in terms of transactions. Bitcoin, it's breaking out to this level of resistance here. It looks like it's going to attempt to find some support. We'll see in the next day. We'll see what happens at midnight, where this candle closes and where the next one seems to really want to go. If you can find some support along this trend line here, like if we do break out and hold out of this trend line here as well, we're finding ourselves in one of my favourite patterns, a little ascending triangle, and we're in a bull run, so that should give us a nice little pull out of that. But like I say, I don't really want to see Bitcoin and Ethereum do anything too crazy just yet. I want them to consolidate a little bit more. I'm probably the only person on the planet asking for that, just to give altcoins a chance to just settle and relax a little bit. One good thing, though, with the consolidation going on at the moment within altcoins is that we're kind of shaking out the weak hands, which we need at the minute. You know what I mean? Looks like Orchid Rose is attempting to go for a breakout. At the moment, it's finding a little bit of resistance on the EMA bands that it broke down through. It's been using them as a nice little bit of support for a while, but it's snapped back out there, but it's struggled to really keep above them for the last day or so. But still looking really bullish to me. If you could just pull above these the EMA lines here, find some support on this trend line, I think we'll be good to go. Continue on with the run there as well. RSI is looking good. We did get to a point where we were almost oversold. It's bounced off that. Makes sense. It looks like the MACD's just crossed over as well on a bullish trajectory, so that's good. XRP rallying again. It looks like XRP got hit quite hard by that consolidation over the weekend. Like I say, I think the thing with XRP at the minute, when it makes any sort of move to the downside, people panic and sell out because of what's going on, which makes sense. I don't judge people for that at all. But for me, like I say, I'm just holding these till the 22nd, and whatever happens to the 22nd, I'll decide what I do then. I might even chuck a little bit more just before the court case, because I don't know if that's when we're going to get news or what, but I just think that if XRP wins that court case and Ripple wins that court case, it's going to fucking explode, man. So yeah, it looks like I says, Synthetics finding a little bit of a resistance along this trend line here, because this has been nice, strong support for quite a few days. It makes sense that support now becomes resistance. That's typically what happens if a level of a level becomes a really strong level of support. It typically does become a super strong level of resistance as well. That's why on the way up, that's why Doge is, I think, not only the diamond hands and all the hype around it at the moment, it's holding up a little bit better as well, and it hasn't really capitulated because it had a lot stronger of a run up this time rather than that just vertical sprint and then that dump. It created itself a lot of resistance, a lot of support on the way up, which is obviously acting as resistance and support on the way down. But like I say, I really think we're at the point with Doge now where not only is Doge getting into a position where it's really weak and people are going to start to sell because they look at the price, two, and plus those people bought up here. Also, a lot of those people that bought up here now, who've been having smoke blew up their arse by a lot of these shield channels out there who are just riding the SEO of YouTube with Doge. Trust me, that's what they're doing, guys. There's channels now that have become Doge crypto shows. Not going to mention any names, but they know fuck all. These guys, I know fuck all, but these guys make me look like a veritable expert, I'm telling you. Just be careful with the Doge stuff, guys. It's always a coin, like I say. I keep saying this, but I really do feel like it's a public service announcement for people. Just be careful careful, man. Be careful with crypto in general. It's volatile, but Dogecoin is one of those coins. Like, when people say a pump and dump, they're not being disparaging to the coin. It's not bad. Pump and dumps can be amazing. You can get in super cheap and you can make bank, but you just got to be careful. Never buying these sort of positions in these sort of coins. But like, these channels are really blowing smoke up people's arse, telling them it's only going to go up. This is a new floor. It's never going back to this price, guys. You're going to make money. Just hold. It's really reckless to do that to people, because there's a lot of new people who've been dragged in by the Elon and the Wall Street bet stuff that know nothing or very little about trading. And when somebody says just hold on to your Doge, they're like, yeah, you're right, actually. It's going to be like Bitcoin. It's going to be like Bitcoin because people are telling them it's going to be like Bitcoin. It's not. I'm not saying that in future, because like I say, it's inflationary as a currency, Doges, but it's only around 3 to 5%. That will reduce over the years, never to zero, but to a very small amount. That inflation can be offset to a degree, and we might see in coming years actual price increases, even though Doge has continually gone up to a degree. But I mean price increases that are not just like a pump and then dump, actual maybe, decent moves. I don't think that's really ever going to be a thing. It's not one to ever hedge your bets on to make any serious cash in the long term. Use it for what it is, guys. Once it's done pumping, get in at a low price, wait for the next pump and get the fuck out, and you'll make some nice money off Doge. But don't listen to these people who keep blowing smoke up your arse saying that it's never going to go down, because they're lying to you, basically. Everything comes down, and coins that have a lot better fundamentals, use cases, communities, big investment money going into them, projects, abundant amounts of projects will come down. It's just the nature of things. What goes up has to come down. Whether it comes back down at a higher price than before it went up, different story. But everything comes down after a real bull run like we're having, guys. We're deep in the midst of it now. But like you see now with Dogecoin, we are continuing. We broke this support line. We broke previous support lines now. We're really getting into a period where we're getting higher lows, and we're starting to get lower lows as well now, guys. I was telling this to some people about a week or so ago, that's what you'll start to see with Doge, because of this strong run up. We probably won't just see a dump just yet. At some point, it will probably just fall off a cliff, more probably around about the 4 to 3 cents. I think it'll dump fast. But I think because we've had this strong run up, it's finding these supports, but it's failing every single time as well. And another psychological thing you got to take into account now with Doge is these people who have got diamond hands are going to want to get out because the price is coming down and they're bought in up here. There'll be people who are holding because they're bought in up here and want to get it back up to that price. But also there's going to be the people who bought Doge thinking that Doge is going to moon because, the internet told them so. And don't get me wrong, hype and hope can get you to a degree. Well, hype can. Hope will never get you anywhere in trading. Hype will get you so far if you have what happened with Doge. It's not going to get you where you want to go, though. If you want to make a quick bit of cash, by all means, you can do that. But what's going to happen, people who have bought into Doge, expecting it to moon, are going to be looking at things like ADA and Chainlink and Litecoin and a veritable freaking plethora of other coins that are just gaining. We're having this consolidation at the moment, which, is probably affecting Doge at the minute as well. But we're having this consolidation, but they're seeing, dude, this coin's gone up freaking 100%, while I've seen Doge go down 20% or 10% or just kind of trade sideways. You're going to have people who are just going to start to take the money out to FOMO into other, because at the minute, this market as well, a lot of people say it's different. It is. We've got institutional money in there at the minute, but we've got mass retail FOMO at the minute. There's always FOMO in bull runs, but we've got mass FOMO. People have been introduced to crypto on a scale like never before now. Not only with like Bitcoin doing what it's doing, but the Dogecoin memes and everything have brought a lot of new people in which it's a good thing and a bad thing, because there's a lot of people going to lose out, but there's a lot of people who are going to come into crypto via Doge, off the hype, off the memes, and then are going to get invested in other coins. And there's part of me thinks that's what it was all about with Elon, that maybe he wants crypto to be the future, and that he knows PR. Our generation loves memes, don't they? We love memes. We love bullshittery, and Doge is that. And people can get on board with that. It vibes with us, doesn't it? As our age, millennials and Gen Z, that sort of shit. We love it, and I think it was a really clever move. I don't know that's what he's thinking. Maybe he genuinely does think Doge could be used as a currency in that sense, and it could be a lot bigger than what it is. It could be. but it's going to need a lot of work from the devs and consensus from the networks, the miners and node operators and all that sort of stuff to change. But there's part of me that believes that that's what it was all about with him, is as a way to say, guys, you look at this, and it be a gateway drug, you know what I mean? Of like, look, have a little taste of that, man. Is that nice? You like that, don't you? Well, what about this? This is the real deal. That's part of me really genuinely thinks that, like I do. Maybe I'm thinking a little bit into it. I probably am. But, like, it makes sense. If I had that much influence and I really wanted crypto to be the future, it's what I'd do. You know what I mean? Elon Musk's clever like that. He understands that PR is a massive thing. You know what I mean? Obviously, money is a big thing to people as well. But to get it out to the masses, PR is major, man. And, memes, man. People love memes, don't they? It looks like Bitcoin Cash stalled out a little bit there. This is good, though. It looks like it's back testing that previous height. That's what we like to see. It's pulled back down just to that wick, and it's finding that as a little bit of support now. So this is a moment to watch here for Bitcoin Cash. If you can generate this as a little area of support here, and then use that as a little springboard to come off of. So if we do decide that we do start to push and we come back down, this can then be a level of support for us to bounce off again, and it'll make it so it's a little bit less likely for us to fall straight back through. So hopefully we can close the hour on a nice candle there and find that as some support and continue to the upside. That's what we want to see. But yeah, Doge continues to drop 55. I keep saying this because I'm looking at everything else at like 50 cents, 60 cents, 80 cents, 10 cents, 5.8 cents. It's not 58 cents. A lot of people wish it would be. I do myself because I got him fucking on both pumps. Would have been laughing. But it's not. Alas, it's not. It's 5.8 cents and it's continuing to go down, guys. Probably going to continue to have dead cat bounces. FET had a bit of a hard pullback, but still continuing on up. It's respecting the trend line. It's bounced straight off it. It looks like it's continuing to do its thing here. We needed to really generate some decent highs now, but still, I don't see any reason why it's going to fall through that support just yet. But it has had I think it's still got plenty of room to run, really. We're still middle of the bull run, aren't we? We've just started alt season, really, aren't we, guys? And some of these will dump before alt season's anywhere near done. Others will have cycles. Some won't pump at all. But I think we're in the first cycle now. We've had our first major move to the upside on a lot of these coins, and now I think we're in this consolidation period, and we're going to start to have our second pushes to the upside as well now. Let's have a little look at ADA again here, because it looks like ADA has dropped below where I said it was probably going to drop below. Looks like it's now finding that as resistance. Makes sense. It was a decent level of support before and a decent level of resistance. And like I said, I think we're going to continue trending downwards on ADA. As long as we trade within this downward descending wedge and then we break out anywhere above 80 cents, I think we'll be good. I still think this could be an area where we see it come down to the 70 cents mark. If it does, I think this will be a really good area to get back in. I will probably end up buying some more before we push up to the dollar, if I'm honest. It's a really risky play, but if it doesn't come down, if we do come down to this 70 cents, 72 to 65 cents area, I'll probably grab some more, because I really do feel like this is going to be a real level of support. And I think if we do pull back to that, we're going to bounce off that then, because I think looking at that now, on the daily, if we do pull back to that, the EMA band will be just about coming in then, and not only is that strong support, I think we'll find support on the EMA as well, and we'll have a nice bounce off there then. What will that be if we do? From where we are now, it'll be a 20% correction. What will be the entirety of that correction if we come down to there? 30%, totally within reason. You think 30%, it's scary. It is scary as well, because you can never be 100% sure whether we're in a bit of a correction, a dip, or we're fucking dumping. But 30% correction is nothing spectacular within altcoins, nothing spectacular within crypto in general, but especially in altcoins. Yeah, I think we could see possibly anywhere down to the 65 to 70 cents mark as a correction, and then to go back up. I'm kind of thinking that's not what's going to happen though now. We are going to continue on a little bit of a downtrend, I think, here, continuing to make these lower highs, but I do believe we're gonna find some sort of support around about the the 80 cents mark, in my opinion. And these lines, I think I came up with these lines off the fib. So I'm hoping that that's what we see. Let's go from our local, where that local move started, shall we? And have a look on the fib, see if I did. I think that's where I pulled them from, man. Them ones, because I don't think I went off any previous... Got so much shit on, man. I'm struggling to see where what it is there. Okay, so it's straight bang on the EMA band. It definitely wasn't off that EMA band anyway. Probably not a great fib measure, actually. They're doing it from there, to be fair. But yeah, like I say, I do genuinely think we're going to continue to trade down in this descending wedge. And hopefully we don't break down too much. But if we do, I'm still confident that, you know, this sort of area is going to be our area of support, and this is going to be a real strong buy area. I think there's a lot of people going to have buy orders set, waiting to catch this dip on ADA, to be fair. I think there's going to be a lot of other people thinking that's a good area to buy, and looking at the chart, it is a good area to buy. So if it does dump down to there, I'll be buying some more at that price. At 420 on that then. But yeah, man, Bitcoin just kind of struggling around that area, but it does look like it's attempting to give us some support off that trend line, like I said. So if we break through, we find this as support now and continue back trending on this previous support line, this trend line on the way up in this ascending triangle. Still very bullish for me in the short term. That's just the short term. We're not looking at anything macro there really with Bitcoin. Because I think really at this point, when we're looking at the macro on Bitcoin, you know, we're in new territory now, so it's not really much point looking at these previous moves. You're better looking at these long-term moves. And like I say, the reason why I do believe we're going to have some sort of decent correction is just going off the previous cycle. Like I say, a lot of people say we're more like the 2013 cycle. I do think we're more like the 2013 cycle. I do think we're more like the 2017 cycle, though, if I'm honest. And if you just go off how we're running at the moment, this was our 42k area around here where we peaked out. We had that month of consolidation, and this is where we are now. Now, to me, this rings very true of, like, you know, it's giving me, like, freaking visions of the past, man. You know what I'm saying here? Of the we had our high here. We pulled back. We had a bit of a consolidation for we went from the 17th of June, and we consolidated really all the way up into August. We had like a 2-month consolidation there. So we had a bit of a shorter consolidation this time. And then we created ourselves a new high, and then we had another consolidation that lasted, you know, around about a month and a half to 2 months, and we came back down to the previous high there. That's kind of what I'm expecting at the moment. I think we're going to see a 55k to 60k run on Bitcoin personally, and then I think this is where I've got marked. I think we're going to see a pullback, consolidation for a while, and that's when I think we're going to see the run. And I think this is the area where we're going to see altcoins really fucking moon, is when Bitcoin decides to pull back off this 55 to 60k area, come back down, consolidate for a month or so, and then it's going to do pretty much, in my opinion, what it did here, but just a lot more powerfully. I did think we might go a little bit higher before we saw this, but, you know, we're getting to the points now where you got to remember, like, if we do get up to here, that's still a 43% increase. You know, like, Bitcoin's at such large numbers now that we look at 40k to 60k is fuck all. It's fucking not. It's massive, you know what I mean? Like, it's just we're talking such big numbers with Bitcoin now. It's easy to, like, forget the sort of moves that we're actually making. That, you know, we see a little move like this and we're like, this has been a bit pathetic, you know what I mean? But, like, we're talking like $2,000 because we're at such large numbers now. A $2,000 movement on Bitcoin doesn't look like anything at all. But, like, yeah. So it looks like Vet's failing to find this as support at the moment here. We're only 15 minutes into the new era, though. So, you know, and just because he doesn't, like I say, I'm still confident if Vet does fail this level of support here, I think we'll continue trading down here. We'll break out, and then we'll probably find this as resistance, if I'm honest. That's obviously, you know, I'm just totally going off charts here, which really can only do so much for us, to be fair. But, like I say, we crossed over on the MACD. It makes sense because really this is not the best drawn freaking trend lines, if I'm honest. You know what I mean? We might have actually, if we do it like that, we're finding resistance there, really, aren't we? So, makes sense. I'm expecting us to come back down, find some support around the 51 cent mark, and then we are going to continue to the upside, actually. 5 cent mark, sorry. That's right, yeah? 5 cent, yeah? Yeah? That's right, yeah? And then I think, we're going to push for that 6 cents mark. But yeah, it makes sense, like I say, we're consolidating across the board, man. You know what I mean? The only thing that seems to really been like, fuck consolidating, bro, is Bitcoin Cash. It consolidated, and while everything else is still like, let me get my coat on, Bitcoin Cash is fucking at the door, man. It's down the road. It's fucking legging it. You know what I mean? It's off, bro. It's off. So yeah, it's looking nice on Bitcoin Cash, man. Like I say, if it can come back, I'd rather us come back here, back test this, and find this as support, our previous high, find it as support. That'll put us in a better situation, in my opinion. You always want to see these moves. It's easy to want, just continual growth, continue to do this sort of thing. But these sort of moves and these sort of moves are not healthy. They typically, these sort of moves typically give us these sort of dumps, like what I was explaining before with Doge, on this second win that it's had a lot more healthy. You really want these sort of moves to, you want these pullbacks, finding resistance, continuing on, pullback, finding resistance, because that's how you continue these moves a little bit longer. Then you can consolidate. It makes everything a little bit more healthier in the move, but it also gives a lot of people to buy back in, rather than, like, typically on these sort of moves. You'll always get people FOMOing in, but the more sensible people will see these moves and be like, I'm staying a fucking way from that, because, there's no idea to tell where they fucking, and you can never tell where the end is and the top is, but like them sort of moves, it's like, where do you go from? But, if you're having these sort of moves and you're consolidating and you're doing this sort of thing, these are good areas, and people do watch these. People will buy the dips, and I'm starting to see that as well. Like, props to a lot of new pit traders as well. Really are taking advantage of dips, which is good to see. Too many people have been doing it on Doge, which I'm worried about, as it continues to go down. Like I said, attempted this small dead cat bounce. These are over exaggerated, but we're kind of following what I said is going to happen. This is probably going to be another level of support. If this 5-6 level of support can hold, it might attempt to go back up again. It might, if it does hold, maybe we'll see a small little double bottom and an attempt to rally. But I still think if we do attempt to rally, I think this 6-1 to 6-2 is really going to be a struggle for Dogecoin to get back through. And like I say, as it continues to fall lower and lower, the less likely it is to come back. I'm absolutely shocked that it's still hanging on, to be fair. I'll give the community props. You guys who are still holding Doge have got fucking diamond hands. Just don't hold on to diamond hands as being something for you more than making money. That's better, man. It don't give a fuck. If somebody uses it to throw you, you got paper hands, man. At the end of the day, if you've come out with profit and they've come out on a loss, who the fuck cares if you've got paper hands and they got diamond hands? You're making money, man. And at the end of the day, when you come into this market, guys, you're here to make fucking money. Of course, we all want to see crypto become the next big thing, because I do think it's going to make a better world. It's going to change the world. It's going to democratize finance. And I am in it for the movement in that sense. But when it comes to actually investing, I'm here to fucking make money, man. I'm here to trade. I'm here to come out with more money than what I came in with. And that's the aim of the game. I think if you're really, truly about the movement when it comes to crypto, you should start coding. You should learn how to code, and you should start working on blockchains or trying to get into development teams on blockchains. And that's how you're going to really change the world. You might be the next guy that brings out the next great blockchain or the next great IPO or NFT system, or, you know what I mean? Just pushes things, or you become an advocate, a person who tries to get into, involved with the media and tries to represent crypto in front of the Senate, in front of Parliament, and, across the globe. And that's how, if you're really in it for the movement, you can. But at the same time, if you're in it for that side of the movement, fucking make money as well. Like, if it comes to putting your money into crypto, guys, make sure you're in it for the right reasons, man. Make some fucking cash. You can change the world faster if you're making cash, and everybody, well, not everybody's going to be making cash. Every time somebody makes a win, there's somebody on the other side making a loss. But you know what I'm saying. If we can all make money together, or try and make money together, that's the best what's it. And at the end of the day, if you're new as well and you're coming in and doing it sensibly, you're a lot more likely to stick around. My worry is as well, a lot of these people who've come into Doge, who might have become seasoned crypto traders or investors, will have come in, got burnt and gone, I ain't fucking touching that shit ever again. And we don't want that. We don't want that, you know what I mean? Just for the sake of people pushing pump and dumps. So it looks like he's got rejected off its attempt to push for that 1835 area. Like I said, this is why I've kind of lined this up. My line's off a little bit. Actually, I think I've gone off that previous wick, haven't I? Really, there it kind of really fits. Really, this is kind of just a strong area of resistance, if I'm honest, entirely for Ethereum. We've got a lot of wicks and a lot of candle closes around this entire area, so it makes sense. So it's going to struggle to get through here. If it can get through and find this as support, and Bitcoin doesn't dump, you know, it could find some stable base here because it wants to make it. It really attempted to find this as support, Ethereum did, but I'm guessing this co-aligned with a move down on Bitcoin. So what was this at 3 a.m. on the 13th? What was Bitcoin doing at 3 a.m. on the 13th? The last few days, guys, I've slept a lot because I've spent the last couple of weeks really not sleeping at all, so I'm a little bit fucking all over the place at the minute, man. Yeah, Bitcoin had a pullback, Ethereum had a pullback. So as long as Ethereum can get back into that position of finding some serious support around there, it looks like it's bouncing off the EMA at the minute. If Ethereum can pull above here, find this as support around about the 1830 mark, trade sideways a little bit, and that will really become super strong support then. And then, you know, I think we'll easily make our moves to the 2000 mark then without too much trouble at all. And also, if Ethereum does do that, it'll be perfect for altcoins. You know, if we can see this sort of move from Ethereum and it kind of just does this for a little bit, it'll be really good for alts. And I know sometimes, especially if you're a Bitcoin maximalist or you've got all your money in Ethereum, you just want it to continue up, which I do as well because I've got Ethereum and Bitcoin. But at the same time, I want everything to come up. You know, I'd rather Ethereum and Bitcoin stall on the way up, let everything else come up, get my money out to them, and then, you know, it's all good in it. That's what we want, man. That's what we fucking want. So yeah, V-Chain kind of just like say, find a little bit of a resistance there on this downward movement. But I'm confident that, you know, we're probably if somebody made me, this is a sort of move that I think we're going to probably find. You know what I mean? I think that's probably our move, something like this, as it continues attempting to push up to this previous high here, and then, you know, we're in a breakout situation. Then if you can find some good support, you know, we could easily see a move up, a real good move up to the upside, because I do still think V-Chain's got lots of potential moves. It's kind of been coiling up for a while, and it's really snapping out now, isn't it? So yeah, and like I say, we're not having these, like, we're having massive movements, but we're not having these insane moves at the minute. So that's like another thing that leads me, like, obviously I do believe we're at the start of a bull run, in my personal opinion. I think we're probably about a quarter of the way through, possibly. I still think we've got plenty more to go. Like I say, I do think we're probably going to top out around 100k on Bitcoin this run. That's if we get a nice consolidation around about 60k. I think that'll allow Bitcoin then to really fucking run at the 100k mark. And, like, you know, we're not really having these, we are having moves, you know. Like, if you're coming from stocks or any other market, you look at these sort of moves and be like, dude, what the fuck? But, you know, like, when it comes to doing like 100% in a week, you know, that's fucking insane. But, like, we'll start to get to the sort of moves where the sort of moves that took us a week to do, we'll do in like a day or two, and then we'll do in a day, and then the sort of moves that take us a day, we'll be doing in hours, and that's when we'll be getting to the point where when we're doing those sort of moves in hours and days, it's starting to get to the point where it's like, right, you really should be keeping an eye on things, because once we're in these sort of territories and we're pretty much fucking storming for the moon, that's typically, you know, where we're gonna top out. Euphoria is already really kicking in at the moment, but I think it's kicking in because, like I say, the hype, and typically as well with the cycles, when the mainstream media starts to get onto it and famous people start to talk about it, that's typically when we reach our peak. But I think we're just seeing that earlier this year. I don't think that's the best way to look at the market, especially this market, because crypto's that big now that, you know, it's just like, I think you've kind of got to be living under a rock to not hear, or at least hear rumblings of what's going on. Do you know what I'm saying? And rich people ain't stupid for the most part. And even if they are, they employ people who are fucking intelligent enough to say, look, dude, if you want to make some fucking money this year, you ain't doing no films because pandemics, and, you know, your last album was a flop and you made fuck all off it. Actually, you know, it's lucky that you were signed to that label because they're in debt off it. Lucky they paid you. You know, Bitcoin? You know what I mean? Kind of thing. And don't get me wrong, there is famous people out there talking about, you know, like Lindsay Lohan and all that sort of stuff, and Akon. They've been paid by people like Justin's son. You know, the only reason those guys are all tweeting about fucking TRX and fucking Justin's son is because Justin's son's probably slipped him a bit of money to shill out fucking TRX. H-bar can't really make sense on the error frame. Is it bearish, would you say? Let's have a look at H-bar, actually, because I have got a little bit of H-bar. And I am bullish in the long term for H-bar because I think it is kind of a cool project. Let's have a look. It's down 7.5%, so it's obviously felt the correction like everything else. Let's have a look. What's the RSI saying? MACD's had a bullish crossover, but not, well, it's crossed over. I wouldn't exactly say it's incredibly bullish, but it doesn't look terrible. Selling pressure's waned off, but buying pressure's not exactly spectacular at the moment. Excuse me. It is Sunday, though, so I wouldn't take too much stock in volume and stuff that's happening now, guys, because obviously it's Sunday. There's a little bit of hidden bullish divergence on H-bar there, dude. If you come down to this low here on the hourly, you know, we definitely are showing hidden bullish divergence there in comparison. You know, it's a higher low, but we're definitely showing hidden bullish divergence. It come to the point of almost being oversold as well. Let's have a look. Elon telling people to sell Doge. Really? Honestly, is he? Don't tell me that he's doing that. Really? Oh, you don't understand, guys. Like, you know, I don't ever want to see people. I just want to say something here because this is something that's been. I'll get back to this H-bar in a second, dude. Don't worry. I won't go off on a tangent too long. But you know, I've been talking about these streams. There's one I've been watching for a while, and they're fucking tossers. They are telling people to buy. They're saying they're not financial advisors, but they are. They're telling people to buy the dips, hold, buy. And I've been finding evidence from a few people who've been coming into my streams now, been telling me that one of the dudes is being done for impersonating a medical freaking response, doing something with impersonating medical response services in America, and looking like that. And he, from what I've seen now, more and more, dude he's just trying to suck up as much money from people who are desperate that Doge is going to go up. So there's part of me that kind of wants to see Doge dump. I don't want to see people lose out on money. I really don't. But I just want to see those guys get wrecked because they're dickheads. And at the same time, when it comes to trading, you're going to lose money. You're going to. Whether it's in your first few months or you're going to lose money. And it's a lesson. And that's why I always say, don't invest more than you can afford to lose, because then when you do lose it, you can look back and go, that's what I did wrong. But you know what? It's okay. I'm all right. I ain't destitute. I ain't on the corner sucking off dudes for a fucking sandwich. You know what I mean? I'm okay. And there's a lot of people who've been following their investment advice. And I don't want them people to get wrecked because they're new. But at the same time, it needs to be a learning curve for them. I feel like those guys who have been listening to these people shilling shitcoins, really do need to lose money so they can look and go, this is not the person to follow. I'm going to learn how to trade. Like, and I'm not, it's a harsh lesson, but like sometimes in life you have to have harsh lessons, don't you? You know what I mean? So there's part of me that hopes that happens so those people do get sorted. But anyway, let's get back to a H-bar here, dude, because you was asking me about it. Does it look bearish on the hourly? So on the hourly there, we've definitely got some hidden bullish divergence. We came to being oversold almost, and we bounced off that. We haven't managed to get ourselves a higher high, though. But like I say, we are kind of in this period of correction at the minute. So I wouldn't put too much in that, really. If you break below this 12-cent mark, then I'd maybe think about being a little bit bearish. Let's have a look at the daily, actually. Are we over? I don't know, actually. So, like, it could possibly come all the way back down to this sort of 10-cent area, if I'm honest, dude. And in my opinion, still be looking okay, because it is a little bit overstretched. It was oversold on the RSI, and if you look on the daily, there was definitely bearish divergence there, so it needed this. It definitely needed this. This weekend's happened as well, so it makes sense. I wouldn't be too worried about it, if I'm honest, dude. The hourly looks all right. The 4 hourly is, yeah, there's bearish divergence on the 4 hourly. Longer time frames do tend to override shorter time frames, but it's not always the case. It depends on how strong a movement you get on the short term. There is definitely bearish divergence on the 4 hourly though, dude. It's crossed over on the MACD on the 4 hourly as well, so I wouldn't be surprised if you see some more downturn. The sort of areas you want to be looking at though, in my opinion, really now are the anywhere between this 12 cent and this 10 cent. If you keep in this area, I think you're okay. It's just a normal correction. If you pull back down below there, bearish sentiment might really kick in, but still at the 8 cent mark could find a lot of support and still come back. Remember, you can have big corrections in these bull runs, guys. This is what people need to remember as well. You know, if you see a 30% pullback, it doesn't mean it's the end. It could mean it's the end. It doesn't necessarily mean it's the end. When you want to be looking is if the pullback's anything over 50%, that's when you really want to be. Obviously, you hopefully you want to be buying in on assets that even on a 50% pullback, you're in profit, because that's the way to trade. Because if you keep buying in at the top, that's when you get wrecked. But if you buy in $1, something gets to $10, comes back down to $5, you sell, you've still 5x your money, you know what I mean? But I'd say this is an important area, really. If it goes below here, I'd be a little bit worried. But I think anywhere around this area, in my opinion, it'll be fine, really. Like, we're in a position where we're having a bit of a correction, so it makes sense that, you know, we either come back down to here, possibly down to here, possibly even down to here, and then continue up. On the grand scheme of things, when you look back out, it won't be that much. And what did we have here? What was this correction? You're talking a 35% correction here, and then we continue to the upside. If we have a pullback here, it's still a smaller correction. If we come down to here, it's starting to get a bit worrying then. We're at 46%, but still possibility to pull out of that, in my opinion. If we come anywhere below this sort of area, that's when it's probably, maybe it's time to get out, depending on where you bought in. Obviously, if you bought in up here, then you've got a little bit less room for maneuver. But in my opinion, this still looks all right, dude. The daily has got bearish divergence, but obviously this correction is going to nullify that. We've come back in from being overbought. That's a good thing, you know, because we're bearish divergence, overbought, inevitable that we were going to come back down there. 4 hour bearish divergence. Hourly though, there's some hidden bullish divergence on the hourly. So if that has a strong enough move on the hourly, it could negate the bearish divergence on the 4 hourly. But I'd probably side along with the 4 hourly, in my opinion, really, to see what's going to happen over the weekend. But so that means we might pull back to 10 cents, 11 cents by tomorrow, dude. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe we just try sideways for a little bit and then continue on. It's finding some support around this area. I just spat on my mic. Nice. Animal. So yeah. Yeah, I'm still confident that's going to see some movement to the upside. One to watch, though. Definitely one to watch. You'll have a lot more info come the morning, dude, if I'm honest. But there is bearish divergence. You're right. On the 4 hourly and on the day, there's bearish divergence. But on the hourly, there is actually some hidden bearish divergence there. If you look, we've got our low here. You got our low on the RSI. We've got a low that's much lower here. So if we look at this low here, right, to this low, see how it's a lot higher? But it's a lot higher here as well. It's like reverse. So that shows that there's a little bit of hidden bullish divergence there. But you want strongest bullish divergence. So the bearish divergence will probably override that bullish divergence. We'll probably see a little bit of an uptrend in the short term. Maybe see a bit of a pullback from 13 cents. And then maybe some more push towards the downside. But I wouldn't worry too much. If it goes below 10 cents... that's probably a time to really look at what's happening. But like I say, in my opinion, I'll never suggest what you do with your money, but it all depends on where you came in. If you came in on this down here, then even if it comes back to freaking 8 cents, you're still in the money. If it pulls below that, I'd get out. But if you came in down here, you know, if you came in these sort of marks, even if you get out at this sort of area, you're still up 154%. You know what I mean? So you can't moan at that. But personally, I think he's still got plenty of room to the upside. I'm bullish on the entire project for H-Bar as well, if I'm honest. I think once he starts to get more traction in the community, I think H-Bar is going to be quite big. When you were talking about altcoins earlier, I don't know if it was you or somebody else. I think it was you, wasn't he? Oh no, it was somebody else, wasn't it, actually? It was Mr. Simon Motion. But yeah, regarding altcoins, this would be like, kind of one of my honourable mentions when somebody was asking what my top 5 are, or my 5 altcoins are. This would be an honourable mention in my opinion. So I wouldn't be too worried just yet, but one to keep an eye on for sure. There is bearish divergence there, but there's also hidden bullish divergence there, but on a smaller time frame. So probably going to see some more downward trend there, but I wouldn't get too worried about it if I was you, dude, personally. But like I say, it's all dependent on where you came in. That's why it's always good. The lower you come in, the better, because you've got a lot more room for maneuver, haven't you? Give me a second, man. I've just got to look on Twitter, because like these dudes, man, who I've been seeing their streams, like I just want to see what they're saying on Twitter, because they're just dickheads. And I kind of want to see him, fucking lamenting. I seem like a right bastard, but they deserve it, man. They're spreading fucking misinformation to people. It's one thing being ignorant, and it's one thing making bad investments. I feel sorry for people who do that. We all do it. Everybody makes bad investments, and you've got to learn. But if you are new and don't know fuck all, but then are telling other people that you know what you're talking about, and listen, man, just listen, do what I say, and you're gonna make bank, and then at that point you deserve to fucking get slapped in the face with it. I'm gonna have to watch their stream still. I will have to watch their stream later, because it's kind of become a bedtime watch for me just lately, just watching how ridiculously ignorant some people are. It's just amazing me sometimes. Like I say, it's one thing to be ignorant and you're new to this, and I'm fucking ignorant as fuck. I know so little compared to some people, and I never take advice from me because I'm a degenerate trader. But at the same time, I'll always tell you, if you ask me a question, and I don't know the answer, guys, I'll hold my hands up and say, ain't too sure about that, buddy. Let me have a look at what I think, but I ain't too sure about that. But these guys are like acting like they know what they're talking about. Like the one dude says he's been trading since 2013. Check this, yeah. He said this dude's been trading since 2013, right? So you think, fucking hell, 2013, 7-8 years, bro. You got to know what you're fucking doing, man. If you ain't broke by now, you got to know what you're fucking doing. You know what I mean? And I asked him, I was like, what's your average P&L, bro? You know what I mean? And if you don't know, which is fine, because if you do, you ain't going to know that. But if you've been in it for 7 years, you should fucking know. And if you're trying to make a channel talking about it to people, you should know P&L is your profit and loss. Simple, How much money have you made today? How much money have you lost today? How much money do you make on average? How much money do you lose on average? Obviously, you don't want to be losing on average, otherwise you're probably just best to get out of it, because what's the fucking point? But I asked him, and like, he read my comments. Because I can tell the kind of dude he is as well. Because every time somebody come in with a tick, he was all like, verified account. You know what I mean? Like, and he was like, he read my comment and he was like, oh, what's your average PNL? And he kind of like mumbled a bit. And then I seen him turn to his other monitor, and I seen him start typing, and I seen the whiteness of the Google search page on his face, because he was obviously on Google. And then he was like, what's my P&L? Oh, my profit and loss is... And then he just trailed off and didn't answer the question anyway, because I don't think he's ever made any profit and loss, because he's a bullshitter, basically. And I was like, dude, you've been in this 7 years, and you had to Google what profit and loss is. Like, what? You fucking liar? You absolute liar. And then another person asked him in the chat that was like, how much tax do you guys pay? And dude didn't know. You know what I mean? And it's like, well, if you've been doing it for 7 years, surely you've cashed out. Like, dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, how could you be trying to give not financial advice, but giving financial advice, because they have been, and not know your tax bracket? Or like, what, you just been cashing out? Like, you've been making that much money, you're just like, I don't care, bro. I just take it to the bank. Tax? What's tax? Unbelievable, man. So, like, guys, definitely be careful. Like I said, with all the hype that's surrounding crypto now, you're going to find a lot of channels out there that know fuck all, and they'll make out that they know what they're talking about. Don't take advice from those. Don't ever take advice from YouTubers. There's nothing wrong with dabbling around. Like, I'm saying that for me as well. Don't take my fucking advice, man. That's a fucking bad move to make, totally. Don't take my advice. But, you know, you can use... This is what's great about YouTube, man. You like... We've got so much information at our fingertips, yet we're more ignorant than we have ever been, man. It's a good job I've got these blue blockers, man, because now I've got that ring light. Jesus Christ, it's like looking into the fucking halls of God. We're more ignorant than ever, and people take what people say on the internet as gospel, you know what I mean? Just because they might have a nice backdrop and it might look like they've got super expensive stuff and they put pictures of them in freaking wherever on Instagram and you're like, oh, this dude knows what he's talking about. He looks like he's got money, you know what I mean? But that doesn't necessarily mean jack shit. There's nothing wrong with bouncing around YouTube, seeing what some people have got to say, seeing what other people have got to say, and then coming up with your own decision from there, you know what I mean? It really... it's the best way to be, because that way then you'll learn more than anybody ever telling you where to buy, when to sell. Because like I says, that person's not always going to be around either, and they might be wrong, and then you won't know where you went wrong because you didn't figure it out yourself. They just says buy here, sell there, so you bought there, you sold there, you lost money, and you won't know why you lost money because you didn't do anything yourself to figure it out. So talking on these corrections, it looks like Dots had a bit of a quite hard correction there. He did attempt to, he'd had this descending triangle from the correction that's been going on, broke down, tried to continue back up, was kind of creating this ascending, it's a bit of a bastardized ascending triangle, but he's there. I love him, and I see him wherever I can, even if they don't do me the best of service, but they do. Typically, ascending triangles in bullish markets really do turn out for the good for the most part, but not so much here. But we do have a lot of resistance here. We're also struggling to get back above the EMA band as well, but the EMA band is really pinching now. It actually looks like it's actually coming over to the negative actually there. So short term, we might see a little bit more downside on Dots, possibly to the point where we maybe even dump all the way down and bounce off the 200-week moving average. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens, but I still wouldn't even be worried about that happening, really. Dots had a really, really nice run, but I genuinely, in my humble opinion, which is more than likely probably incorrect, in total, we've had a 549%. So it has been a good run. I still do believe we've got the possibility. I think we've got the possibility to see a $100 Dot. I know I'm a little bit more bullish on Dot than I am on some other projects. I'm a little bit more conservative on stuff that people are super bullish in my opinion. But yeah, Dot and ADA for me, super bullish on. Whether we see those gains this run, we will see them next run. Like, I am just adamant that's going to happen unless we see some new, super awesome freaking projects come up that really knock them off. Don't think that's going to happen. ADA's got some amazing announcements coming up, guys. Dot's doing amazing things. So, like I say, still, when it comes to long-term projects, keep your eye on Dot and ADA, guys. Even if you miss it this run, wait for prices to come back down, and I'm not suggesting you buy, but I'm going to be fucking buying. You know what I mean? Just keep your eye on them because, like I say, long-term, super bullish projects. I think that's not helping us all at the minute as well, guys. Super low volume, man. It's Sunday. It's to be expected. It's Valentine's Day. Like, even us degenerates, for the most part, have got missuses. Yet here I am streaming at nearly midnight while my missus is in the other room. I'm probably going to wake up tomorrow and she's left me. She'll wait for me to take her to the doctors first, and then she'll leave me. But nah, in all seriousness, like, you know, there's probably a lot of people doing that. Looks like Doge came back down, did find some support around this sort of area, has attempted to bounce. I'm guessing this is probably off the Elon tweet, which is quite weird, but this leads me to believe, I do think that maybe some people have got some bots linked up into Twitter somehow to go off tweet notifications from Elon, because sometimes the moves from Elon's tweets are just a little bit too quick to be natural. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know there's probably a lot of people sitting with Twitter open and their exchange open. He tweets, they buy, but some of the movements are so fast. I think there's probably some bots that are linked to Twitter to not with notifications on for when Elon tweets, and we ought to, because what I've noticed, even when he's not tweeting about Doge, there's a little spike. It's smaller than usual, because what I think you get is bot buys, and then the follow through buys don't happen because people are like, oh, he's tweeting about fucking the new Tesla or SpaceX or something, where I think I kind of think that's my behaviour happening now. He's tweeted about it might be a good idea to sell those guys, like, you know, and it's gone up. And I think that might be due to the fact that there's bots that are just auto buying off the notifications, possibly. I don't know. I don't know that for a fact. But you know, it sounds logical to me, really, because I know for a fact some people bot trade, some people don't trade at all. You know what I mean? They have a bot set up, the bot buys, the bot sells, and it does it for them. Because some people just don't like to trade themselves. And you know, if it works for you, fuck it, innit? You know what I mean? But I think quite a lot of these tweets are pre-pumped by bots, and then, you know, the rest is because people are just seeing as quick as bots. A bot can bump, bought, you know what I mean? Where a human's got to be like, oh, Elon's tweeted, quick, even if they've got it open, you know, onto the exchange, buy, particular price I want to buy at, amount, sell, bought, you know what I mean? And like I say, I think that's what's happening there, because it's weird that it's kind of attempting a little bounce off, a bit of a dead cat bounce. It's going to find resistance. It's going to fucking fall off, because it just is. That's what I'm seeing for Doge anyway. But it's like I say, it's a little bit weird that off a tweet that's kind of saying probably a good idea to sell your Doge, guys, and we get this little pump. You see, logically, you know, it's all I can think it could be. So, yeah, interesting. Didn't expect him to come out and tweet about it, if I'm honest. But at the same time, not shocked by it because, like I said, Elon's not a stupid dude and he's got to know at some point. And I'm kind of glad that he's said it. He's not telling people to sell because he's not stupid, because he's been in trouble with the SEC before. It's kind of a roundabout way of saying, oh, I wouldn't think you was stupid if you did sell. Wink, wink. Not telling you to. But, you know, if you did, wouldn't judge ya. You know what I mean? So, like, I think that's his way of saying, like, yo, if I was you guys, I'd fuck it off. You know what I mean? Kind of thing. And I've not been saying it for days. I've been saying it for days, guys. Like I said, even when Elon started to tweet prior after we had this dump, you know, this is where I think we had the batch start coming in of his tweets. I was like, I'm sitting on the sidelines. And then I only got back in round here because I saw this super fucking bullish maneuver. And in the end, I FOMO'd. I did. But, you know, I FOMO'd at the right time. And I got fucking out at 8.2 cents. So I made a nice... I profited off this all the way up this run. I took a slice of this profit. I put it back in at 5.5 cents. And I made a nice freaking... What was it? It would have been a... I was about 5.3, 5.4. I got back in. And I got out at 8.2... You know, got a nice 53% profit on top of profit. So it was a nice move for me. But as soon as you got up there and I started to see, you know, we are struggling with this resistance on the previous, fucking hell, Call of Duty, previous high, I was out because I was like, right, if Elon's tweets ain't getting us back previous above this, we ain't getting above it, at least in the short term anyway. And I was even at the point then where you've got to make a decision sometimes, guys, of do I get out now or do I wait and see if we double? You know what I mean? At these sort of points, you get into dangerous positions. That's why, like I say, when it comes to certain altcoins now, you've probably missed the boat unless they have large corrections. And then, you know, I'll be buying in more, but you're still at very risky positions. Once a coin's moved 100%, guys, 200%, 300%, 500%, you know, you this is why I said your risk reward then is really skewed. There's a real chance that you're going to lose out big. That's why you always want to manage your risk reward. Get in on coins when no one's talking about them, man. Bitcoin Cash come back down. It looks like it's going to try and find this as resistance. We've got 10 minutes. Let's wait till the end of the hour, guys, and then we'll call it. We'll see what happens with Bitcoin Cash. I'm curious because that's a really healthy move if Bitcoin Cash finds this level as sort of resistance. Candle close here. If we can, you know, even if it's not on the previous side, it's round about there. Generate a nice little level of support there. And then, yeah, man, that's good. That's good. We want to see those sort of moves. That's the kind of shit we want. You know, unhealthy shit, just green all the way up. That's why you see on these pump and dumps, they can never hold one because everyone's selling out anyway. But, you know, these sort of moves are not sustainable, man. You know what I mean? Vertical runs can only go on for so long. That's why you want these little pullbacks, man. You want these little consolidation periods. You want the coin to be on a healthy movement. Like I said, looks like ADA's doing what I thought it was going to do now. Be curious to see if we do settle down and this trend line now becomes support again, what it was before. It was prior support all the way down till we broke out here. We did manage to make it support again on the close of this candle, so I'm confident that we're going to find more support there. And then maybe, hopefully, if we get a nice bounce, so we can get a nice higher high, and then just do this sort of thing, and then maybe we'll see this sort of move. Or maybe, you know, typically on wedges, you usually see price action from around about 60% of the wedge. that typically don't go all the way till the end, but it can happen. So anywhere around this sort of area, I would imagine we would have made our move, but possibly we could reach our way all the way down to here if, you know, maybe we'll see this sort of move and then we'll get our first higher high and then we'll get a higher low and then, you know, then we'll start to move our way back up and we'll have a nice springy move. But like I say, if you look at all the previous moves on ADA, obviously this is a bigger correction because we're at a higher level now. We're overstretched on the EMA, overbought, all that sort of stuff, on the daily at least. You know, we have these moves where we come back in and then once we're nestled nicely back in on the EMA, we fucking spring the fuck out. The only difference is at the moment, we are like right in the middle of the EMA. We just dipped back below the EMA again. But on the 4 hourly though, I think we're deep in the EMA as well, actually, on the 4 hourly. That's not a good fucking candle at all. Obviously, we're tracking that on the hourly, so I'm not really too worried about that. Yeah, man, it come all the way back down to 80 cents. I called that the other day. I said I'm expecting a pullback to around about 80 cents, possibly 70, max 65. Anywhere below that, and I'll start to get a little bit nervous if I'm honest, and I think we might be at the end then. And if we do, I'll probably be grabbing my bags, going on, waiting for it to dump all the way back down, and then I'll be buying some more, depending on how it goes. If it starts to stabilise around that sort of period, I'll probably just buy some more. Because like I say, it can come all the way back down to, like, my second, I bought back in at 60 and 67, but I'd been buying since below 30 cents, so... You know, anywhere down to 30 cents, I've still got profits. I did buy in a nice chunk at 43 cents, though, so I really don't want to go below that. But, you know, we'll see how it goes. ADA's a real long term for me. I do want to profit off it this bull run. Main thing for me with ADA, though, is I'm looking at ADA and Polkadot as things that are really going to give me financial freedom in the future years. I really do. I believe in them. I think they're gonna do big things. And the thing you got to take into account at the minute, guys, just a little freaking bit of information. ADA is not listed on Coinbase or Gemini, and they're two massive exchanges. I can't see why it's not going on to Coinbase. Maybe with Gemini a little bit, because I know the Winklevoss twins are quite heavily in on Ethereum. Maybe they'll see it as competition. But like I say, I don't think ADA necessarily needs to be competition to Ethereum. It will act as it a little bit, but I think they can both provide. You know, I think we're going to need multiple Ethereum type blockchains, in my opinion, really, in the mainstream, because they're going to do things slightly different and they're going to provide slightly different services and give benefits for DeFi in different ways, in my opinion. You know, and I think with Ethereum 2.0 as well, I don't think it's necessarily got anything to worry about from ADA, and I don't want it to, because I've got Ethereum. I want Ethereum to bang. You know what I mean? I want Ethereum to bang, but I also want ADA to really bang. I'd love to see ADA at like prices of, like, I don't know, it sounds crazy now when you're looking at 90 cents, but like, you know, a couple of £100, maybe even $1,000, possibly $1,000. I know that sounds insane now, but you know, there was a time when things like Ethereum and Bitcoin was at those prices, and that seemed insanity. You know, and I know people will say, well, that's the same thing as Doge. No, it's not, because they've got utility. Doge necessarily doesn't have it. Look, see what I'm saying? You've had this tweet, yeah, and you're back above 60 cents, like, I mean, 6 cents, 6.1, like, what the fuck? That's gotta be bots. Like, who the fuck is buying Doge right there after Elon says, unless people are thinking, because like I said, these streams I've been watching, they keep talking about Elon speaking in code. You know, what they're thinking now, that, oh, dude, he's telling us to sell because he means we need to buy. I know that, dude, I swear, this stream I've been watching, yeah, these dudes, I'll link it to your house at some point, because you'll get a fucking kick out of it. I know you will do, because you're level-headed and you got a sense of humour like me. You'll be fucking crying at it, bro. That these dudes think that Elon's communicating in these really roundabout ways with the crypto thing and that. And I know that one dude on their show, he'll look at that tweet and says, nah, look, dude, you got to read between the lines, man. He's telling us to buy. He's trying to get the weak hands out, man. I can hear his voice in my head. He's trying to get the weak hands out, dude. He's letting you know, buy now. That's what you want to do. And it'll get rid of all the weak hands. And then the price is going to shoot up and we're going to be in the money, man. It's like... most ridiculous crypto stream on the planet, that fucking place is, man. ADA's having a little doopy. It looks like Bitcoin's failed its attempt on trying to come up there. It looks like it's finding a little bit of support there, but you know, Bitcoin's just kind of trading sideways at the minute, really. I'm not sure Ethereum's dumping. That's what's causing ADA and all those stuff to pull back a little bit. I reckon Ethereum's probably going to come find some more support here, though, and continue on the upside. I'm kind of like that dude. Like, they're fucking mental. Because, like, they've been saying that this biggest Doge wallet in the world, the one that owns like 27% of all Doge, is Elon Musk. And now, they had a stream title last night that Apple are investing in Dogecoin, which is a blatant lie. There's no evidence to say that's a thing at all. There's been rumours that they might invest in Bitcoin, and they're now allowing people to use crypto via Apple Pay, via Bybit or BitBuy or whatever it is, which I think they've allowed people to do in a roundabout way for a little while, but now it's kind of more official. And there's been nothing said about Doge at all. Yet this dude just titling his stream, they're investing in Doge, and people was like, yo, even these people who believe him all the time, he's like, where's the sources for this? And he kind of was just telling people, stop asking about it, man. I can't show the sources because it'll get somebody fired. Me and this other dude have received the pieces of paper. Like, are you fucking stupid, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so many shills about at the minute, man. But they're just hilarious, man. Fucking quality entertainment. And they keep talking about this big account wallet. Oh, it's Elon. Oh, now because Apple are supposedly talking about, you know, allowing crypto payments going through their services. Oh, it's Apple who own that freaking wallet now. Like, talk about moving the fucking goalposts. You were adamant the other day, and you were telling people as if it's fact that Elon owns that wallet. Now it's Apple. What? Fucking idiots. You hear about Amazon rumors and realising really? I wouldn't be surprised, dude, really, if I'm honest. That's what we really need now. Like, now Tesla's done it. Just imagine, dude, if like Google or Apple or freaking Amazon decided to put a bit of their liquidity into freaking Bitcoin, woo, that would really start a fucking trend then. Because, don't get me wrong, Tesla it's massive, you know, fastest growing company, fastest growing stock shares, all that sort of stuff. I don't think they've ever made a profit though, but that's because they keep reinvesting, which is great because that's what we want. We need people like Elon Musk who are just willing to take profit, put it back into the project to advance humanity. We need more Elon Musks. But Tesla is a little bit more forward thinking, isn't it? You know what I mean? Companies will listen to what Tesla's done and contemplate after. But I think they'll be waiting for like, well, I'm ready, but you know, I'm kind of waiting for fucking Jeff over here or fucking whoever owns fucking ABC owns Google, don't they, over here? What they decide to do, or you know, what are you doing over there, Apple? You thinking about dipping your toe in? Because if you do, I mean, and like that's kind of what we're waiting for. We're waiting for, in my opinion, either one of these other Fortune 500 companies that are a little bit more established, or one of the big Silicon Valley tech companies, i.e., Facebook, Google, Apple, you know, fucking Amazon, name whatever, like Sony, you know what I mean, Microsoft. Like, if those guys decided to put money into crypto, it'd be Sony's probably a bit of a far-fetched because those don't have really the liquidity that these other companies do. But, you know, like if Microsoft was like, you know what, we're putting so much percentage of our liquid assets into Bitcoin, it'd go wild. The internet would go wild, you know what I mean? Absolutely wild. Because a lot of people do as well see Elon as a little bit of a, you know, crazy billionaire, but he's not. He's just like, he's about advancing the human race, isn't he? You know what I mean? He's willing to allow his companies not to be the most profitable in the world, if it means, you know, making advancements. But like, you know, with Microsoft or Apple, like that'd be fucking insane. That would, you know what I mean? Like, and I think it's possible, man. It makes sense. Apple's got so much liquid cash that's just sitting there being debased by the fact that the dollar's going down in value. This is why companies built by fucking gold, and this is why they invest their liquid cash into other assets, because it's basically, it's not so much about making money. Great if you make money, but it's a hedge against inflation, where Bitcoin's the best hedge against inflation, but you can also fucking double your money in a quick amount of time, really. You know what I mean? Like say, if we get to 100k this run, let's just like, you know, I'm hoping we do, and I think we will. I'm confident that we're going to do anywhere between 70 and 100k. I think 100k is going to be our upper limit. If you're a big company now and you decide to put fucking 10, let's just say a smaller number, $1 billion into Bitcoin now, right? We're just short of 50k and we do 100k. You've just made $1 billion. And you do it in a year, you've just literally turned liquid cash that you were just sitting in a bank account or whatever, a high yield interest account or whatever it is, another depreciating asset, or an asset like gold, which is, you know, hedging against inflation, and then you move it into something like Bitcoin. You could then, like I say, double your money in the space of a year, then pull that money out and then stick it into something like gold, and while you're waiting for the next run, or then come back into Bitcoin once it's dumped, so you don't lose that money that you've made, and then, you know, ride the train for the next 3 years of just increasing value that's going to happen. Obviously, we'll have the bear market where it decreases, but once we've hit that rock bottom, we'll continue to trundle back up then prior to the bull market. Like, it's just sensible for businesses to do it, man. It's like, at this point, it's like, if you really are a massive company, why are you not involved? Like, it's just like, it's logical, man. It's just totally logical. You know, like, of course, we have these freaking runs with Bitcoin where people get freaked out, you know, because we do this and then we come back down, but then we do this, like, you know what I mean? And then we do this. And then we do this. And like, that's what Bitcoin's been doing. Like, it's like, okay, yeah, you know, if you bought it here, it sucks to be you right here. Don't suck to be you anymore. And then it don't suck to be you anymore here. And it doesn't suck to be you anymore here. You know what I'm saying? Like, you'll have these dips, but Bitcoin has done nothing, but it's the best performing asset in the last decade. And like, that's what people think. They're like, yeah, but it always comes back down. It's like, yeah, it does. But like, compare this come down to this come down, and you're talking massive gains. And that's if you didn't even bother selling at all. You know what I mean? If you just rid the pump, let it dump, rid the pump, let it dump, and you didn't take a penny profit, you would still have insane gains if you got in down here. And that's the fucking thing with Bitcoin. And that's like why I say, you know, it's madness. If I was a corporation, man, I'd have fucking shit tons of money in Bitcoin. Obviously, I wouldn't go all in because, you know, you got to diversify your portfolio, and these big businesses know fucking far more than any of us about that. But like, it's like, why not? Why not? Fucking hell, man. Do it. Fucking do it. And do it for us as well, because you make us fucking rich. You know, like, people keep saying they don't want the banks involved in crypto, but they're going to have to be. You know, they're going to have to be. The dollar ain't going anywhere, but if fiat then starts to become backed by Bitcoin as a store of value and gold again, fiat will stabilise. And if we burn and print fiat, and how the crypto market's working, we'll have the end of the deflationary dollar, which a lot of these rich people don't want, because they want your dollar debased, because while the dollar's debasing, they're investing in assets that are hedging against inflation. You're getting poorer, they're getting richer, and that you know, that's why, like, you know, you're going to find a lot of kickback against crypto, because it's changing the status quo, and banks will be at the forefront, along with obviously some billionaires. It's good to see that. I'm surprised the amount of billionaires that are like, nah, fuck this, I'm in. But at the end of the day, they're there to make money. You know what I mean? And people are like, now we want the banks cut out. It's like, you ain't going to cut them out. They're too big to cut out. We need to bring them in with us. And the fact of decentralized finance being democratic finance, really, you know what I mean? People keep talking about, oh, big business is coming in now. It's just going to centralize Bitcoin. It's like, nah, I think 80% of Bitcoin's held by retailers. Do you know what I'm saying? So no matter how much, as long as people don't sell massive amounts, not how much companies buy over the next year or two, the majority is still going to be owned by retail. So they're not going to have that power that they do in the fiat market, because they control the money. If they come into crypto, they won't be controlling the money. The retail will control the money, and that's a great thing, man. I ain't saying over years they can start to get a bit of an upper hand, but the market will have totally changed by then as well, and they'll have lost that power. Do you know what I'm saying? So, like, it's exciting, man. It is. Crypto is super exciting. Like, that's why I don't understand why more people don't want to get on board with it. Whether or not you think it's a bubble, or you think it's just fake money, if you actually take time to look at it, it's better for us. It might not be better for the guys at the top, but in the long run, it is so much better for retail. It's better for our currency, in the fact that it's not going to be constantly being devalued. It's better for commodities, because they're not going to be inflated in price because of inflation and devaluing of fiat. It'd be better for freaking housing price. It'd be better for everything. It'd be the only people who won't be so happy with it will be these ultra rich and the banks, pretty much, because, you know, they'll lose their big cut of the pie, so to speak. So, like, that's why, like I said, if people are, we need those people now. We need the people who take it to Congress and take it to the Houses of Parliament and take it to whatever countries freaking, you know, fucking where they decide the laws and whatever they decide to call it, you know, whether it's the Senate, the Congress, whatever, the European Parliament. And we need people on our behalf to get the politicians on side, because the banks pretty much own politicians, really, and they're going to be the ones that pull the politician strings. But if we can get more of these Fortune 500 companies on, the Facebooks, the Googles, all of this shit, if we can get these guys on, the banks will have to follow, because the banks can fight us, but they're going to struggle to fight us and these billion dollar companies. They just are, you know what I mean? And already Bitcoin on its own is valued more than, I think, Goldman Sachs, I think, is it Bank of America, and like 4 or 5 massive banks, multinational banks. Bitcoin's bigger than them now. Like, it's getting to that point now where it's unstoppable, really. They can only regulate, really, how you get your cash from the blockchain via your exchange into spending. Do you know what I mean? But like I say, if we do get to the point where businesses just accept, you've got the blockchain, you've got your exchange, and you've got your freaking crypto, and then businesses just accept payment via the chain, via the crypto. There's no need for fucking banks anyway. Why do you need to change? Why would you ever want to take your crypto out into money that's getting devalued to then take it to somewhere to buy something, when you could literally just pay off the chain and be like, yeah, I'm paying with Bitcoin, or I'm paying with Ethereum, or I'm paying with whatever. You know what I mean? Like, that's what we need, because then that'll take the power away from the financial institutions such as the banks and stuff. Because, if you never need to turn it into fiat, they can't regulate the blockchain in itself because it's decentralized. They can only regulate the exchanges and the way you extract your cash. That's all they can do. You know what I mean? So if businesses come on board and allow payment offering and invest, the banks are really going to fucking struggle to do anything. They're just going to have to come on board. What they'll have to do is they'll have to operate their own exchanges, basically. That's the future I see. That you'll be able to go on HSBC exchange and trade crypto. Buy and sell crypto and move your assets around via HSBC and Lloyds and stuff like that. That's the future I genuinely see. I really do. If Pablo Escobar was born 40 years earlier, I wonder how much Bitcoin he would have. That dude just used to burn piles of cash just because he didn't have anywhere for it to go. Right, dude, this is something that they argue about criminals using it, and it's like, what could, criminals don't use fucking money laundering, you know what I mean? Criminals don't fucking, use banks. Fucking hell, look at HSBC. They're like, no, crypto bad, man. You should adore crypto, but don't tell anybody we've been giving money to cartels for cocaine and shit. Yeah, okay, all right, okay, wink, wink, wink. Crypto bad though, man. These cartels killed 5,000 people this year, but somebody might be laundering some money through crypto and we don't know about it, because that's us who does the money laundering. You know what I'm saying? That's what I love about it, man. It's got the fucking banks on the fucking back foot, man, and I love it. I love to see it, because, people forget, man, the reason we've been in the fucking economic situation that's led to lots of things that have happened over the last 10 years is the banks. You know what I'm saying? It was them that fucked everything up. It was their reckless trading with bonds and giving out mortgages in the attempt to just fill their own pockets off fucking... that's a bubble, what they were doing, you know what I mean? And people talk about that this is a fucking bubble. It's like, bro, you got them bastards literally manipulating the market to fill, giving out money to people that they knew were never going to be able to pay it back because they didn't care. That wasn't where they were making their money. They were making their money on the yield bonds and stuff like that. But, nobody regulated them. When 2008 happened, you had all these billionaires there going, no, man, regulation's bad. We don't need to be regulated. The market will fix itself. And now crypto's coming through. I'm seeing those same fucking bastards talking, it's got to be regulated. This needs to be stopped. It's got to be regulated. What, you're going to let it debase the dollar? You're going to let it debase the fucking gold? It's like, bro, you lot are already debasing the dollar every year. What are you talking about? The thing that's debasing the dollar is the fucking money printer going brrrr. Fucking hell. The whole point of crypto coming about was because of what those guys were doing. It was a symptom of the sickness, and it's just now that symptom's kind of turning into a possible cure, and they don't want that because the sickness has made them shit tons of money. And you can see it, man. Like I said, when you see that, I don't know what his fucking name was, that billionaire was crying on TV. Oh my God, I was like, oh, give me them tears, man. Give me them tears. It's sad to see an old man cry on TV, but when it's a billionaire like that who's crying because, what? Because a bunch of retail investors on fucking Reddit was squeezing the shit out of your fucking pals and their fucking nefarious activities, and now you're crying on TV. Get the fuck out of here, man. I loved it. I want to see more of that shit, man. That's why I hope crypto takes off. I want to see more billionaires go on TV and be like, no, can't do this, guys. It's going to affect you more than us. It's not okay, bro. Not the people who are investing in crypto at the minute. And in the end, if we move to that market, everybody will be better off. You know what I mean? Just imagine having a pound that's worth £1 in 10 years' time. Wouldn't that be lovely? Like you go back to the devaluation of the pound over time. Let's have a look at it, man. I saw this one image that was brilliant for what's it? Here you go, look. And it's peaking 1864 the pound, right? It was briefly worth $9.97. So in 1864, a great British pound was worth nearly $10 fucking dollars. Just imagine that. And now it's worth what? $1.38. It's been on its highest point for years. That's insane. So over the last 100 odd years, it's fucking been debased in such an insane level. Now, of course, there's not just money printing going in there that's been a thing. Like, you know, that's down to like what happened with the fucking the empire and, you know, the downward trend of Britain's economy, and the First and Second World War was a massive factor in that. But it's gone down so much more in the last fucking 50 years, especially since the 80s, I think. No worries, Fred. Thank you very much for hanging out, dude. I'm glad you enjoyed yourself. I'm getting a bit of a sore throat, man. Talking too much. Appreciate it, dude. Have yourself a good evening. There was a good image I saw somewhere, man, that really freaking showed off the whatsy. You know what I'm saying? Like, look at this, man. Like, we've had these rallies in prior, but like, it's just a continual downward trend. We have these spikes, but it's just continually a downward trend. It's like insane, isn't it? That, look at that, man. Even in the 1940s, $4, it dropped from $4 to $2.80. Just imagine being able to go over to America with a pound and it'd be worth $4, bro. Just imagine being able to go over to America with a pan and it'd be worth $9. You could literally, like, you could just literally go over on holiday every year and just take your money with you, stick it in the bank in America, back home, come back over and be like, yo, I'm making bank, bro. You know what I mean? Here's a good image. Yeah, look here. This is when it hit its peak here. And then, like, even in the 1860s, look at the fucking, the drop, and then that's what it's worth now. But people think crypto's a bubble. Like, how is this good at all? You got more liquidity in the market, but every single time it's printed, it's worth less. You know what I'm saying? And, like, this is why big, rich companies and people invest in gold. They don't stick their money in the bank like, you know, normal people who are like, oh, I've got 10 grand, I'm going to put it in the bank. Oh, I've got 50 grand in the bank. It's like, yeah, you got 50 grand in the bank now. Give it 5 years, bro. You want to have 50 grand in the bank? It'll say 50 grand, but its buying power is going to be like, what is it? I think the dollar inflation is like 15% a year or something like that. So every 2 years, you've lost 30% of value of your cash. That's fucking insane, man. That's insane. And that's not a place you want to be in, man, at all. Looks like ADA came down a little bit, guys. Looks like it's finding support on that lower level of that descending wedge, though. Hopefully, it just holds that now. It shows these trend lines really do play out nicely, man. These descending wedges do. All we just need to do now is hold the door, guys, and we'll be all right. Like I say, if we can try and find ourselves making a higher high here locally, and then come back down. Maybe not test this. Maybe test it on a wick and find a higher low. And then, you know, just bounce around in this sort of area for a little bit and then break out. Like I said, I know it sounds insane, but I don't want to break out too early, especially if Ethereum's doing moves, because it will make us not be able to get through this. And this is the important thing. Like, I don't care what Ethereum and Bitcoin does after that, but I really just want ADA to break this so where ADA can moon and then, you know, everything else can do its thing. Because like I say, I'm invested in all of them, but I just want ADA to have a chance to run, because I think if it breaks through that, it's doing 200%. And, you know, you want that, because while that's doing 200%, Ethereum might do fucking a 50%. Like, I'm still hoping we can see a 5 to 6K Ethereum, but it doesn't look like it's willing to do that anytime soon, if I'm honest. So, yeah, be curious to see what happens in the next hour or two with ADA, but I am not going to stay up to do that, guys. I am going to get off now. I'm going to chill for half hour, and then I'm going to bed because I want to try and get up. Kind of like if you just get to TradingView, I'll put it in the WhatsApp for you though. If you just go to TradingView, dude, I should link just what's here. If you go to Trading View and just search ADA ETH, but I'll put it in the chat for you, dude. If you just go to don't want to wear that. I'll put it in the chat anyway for you, bro. But yeah, like I say, still doing what we're expecting them to do. So at the moment, even though we're downward trending, I'm not worried. I'll be worried if we break below this. I won't be worried then, because like I say, I think this is still a super strong area. But, you know, you can't help but be like, wait a minute. If you break below here, then I think it's time to maybe call it quits, at least for this cycle. Maybe we'll see another spurt. I don't know. But yeah, this is a really important level. This is our next important level. This is our primary level. And at the moment, this is our local level. If we can stay above this, we should continue to trade within this area. Maybe come all the way back down to 80 cents in a longer term and bounce off it. We might see this sort of move, say Tuesday. I'm expecting to see, you know, unless we dump, I'm expecting to see this move to hopefully the upside, say Tuesday-ish, midweek, I reckon, personally. But, you know, time. It's one thing making price predictions. It's another thing trying to say a time, you know what I mean? You really can't be like, you know, by this time next Tuesday, it's going to be double. It's like, well, you can look at things and say, looking at the hourly candles and the 4 hourly and be like, well, you know, looking at that, you know, 8, 16, 12, 12, 16, 20, probably around about, yeah, but you can't say. But anyway, guys, thank you very much for hanging out, man. I really do appreciate it. Hopefully you've enjoyed the stream and maybe you've learned something new. Maybe not, but, you know, as long as you've enjoyed yourself, that's all that matters. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out. 99, thank you very much for the $5 holler. Hopefully your dad is better soon, my dude, as well. I'll be thinking about him and sending positive vibes. But everybody else, guys, hopefully you enjoy the rest of your day. And remember, as always, if you haven't already, drink your water, and whether it's the morning, the afternoon, the evening, or the night, stay safe, have fun, and I'll see you guys later. Bye-bye now.